It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD-2, and streaming live at ArizonaSports.com. The guys are powered by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And now on your ESPN station in Phoenix, ESPN 620, Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Well, the Rangers arrest Zach Gallen and the D-backs. They put them in baseball jail. A former Valley High School hoop star passes away. And the PGA Golf Championship begins tomorrow. Former golf champion Tom Lehman is going to join us later on in the show to give us a preview. Welcome in, everybody. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD2. Always on the Arizona Sports app. We are here today until 4 o'clock, and I'm not even going to say his name because I don't need to say his name anymore. Yo, Money!
Hey, how are you, Jimmy B?
I am great, my brother. How's everything with you?
Yeah, excellent. All
right, we have to start with and take everything back what we said yesterday.
Oh, really?
Especially, yes, pretty much, especially you, where we talked about the stellar pitching. And also about how they weren't generating runs, but they were still winning. And then it all came to an abrupt halt last night against the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, the pitching stopped, and the hitting didn't get much better, even though don't let the 4 runs fool you, kids.
Yeah, that was late in the game.
Still 4 hits.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it's starting to become a concern. It's May the 13th?
Yes.
And
15th.
The season started almost 2 months ago, and it's like, okay,
nothing
seriously,
changed.
yeah.
And you're below 500, and you're playing against a Ranger team that is 2 games below 500, but they're in the division where everybody sucks. And they're only like a game and a half out of first place.
You know that division stinks? It's Sacramento's in first.
Isn't that funny? When you say Sacramento, everybody, no, there's no team. Yes, there is.
Yeah.
It's the A's. I know.
You know what? And I saw a thing. I'm getting off topic.
Why does that not surprise me?
I saw a thing the other day. Their average attendance is up 1,000 per game this year over last year.
Yeah, because they're winning.
Hey, the A's may just, let them build a ballpark in Vegas. They may just want to stay in Sacramento and build a second deck.
They're playing in a AAA ballpark, which has served them very well. They sell it out almost every night.
Yeah.
It's about 14,000, something like that. And the city has taken them under their wing as being baseball fans because they never had pro ball. They always had to drive to the Bay Area and either go to Oakland for the A's games or San Francisco for the Giants. Now for 2 years, they have their own team. And look, yes, are they going to leave and go to Las Vegas? They are. And man, oh man, I'm looking at some of the video money of the stadium that they are building there.
Yeah.
It is going to be fun. That stadium that they are building on the Strip is going to be something.
And that's the key. It's right on the Strip.
It is. Yep.
So all this talk about, it won't work in Vegas. Let's see if it works if you put the ballpark on the Strip.
Has the hockey team worked in Vegas? You cannot get a ticket.
Right.
They have a waiting list that's like a year long.
The theory was for years, you can't, if you're going to put a team in Vegas, they can't play in an arena or a stadium that's on the Strip because the locals don't want to go to the Strip.
Yeah.
Well, that theory's been blown to smithereens
now. I agree.
Between the arena and the
Raiders
Stadium.
Yep. Well, even though the Raiders are really not right on the Strip, it's right next to it.
Yeah, it's basically the other. Yeah. It's across the I-15.
Yeah,
from
it
the
is
Strip.
across the freeway.
And this ballpark is going to be on the site of the old Tropicana Hotel.
Yes.
And to me, and we were just talking about this before we came on the air today, it's just a matter of time until the NBA announces we're putting an expansion team in Vegas.
I'm with you. Yeah, it's just too good of a place to pass up right now. And the city is growing because there are jobs. And when there are jobs that pay reasonably well, people are going to move there.
Well, and the gaming industry, I know we're supposed to be talking about something else.
Yeah, we will. We'll get to it here in a second.
This goes back 35 years ago when the Rockies and Marlins first came into existence, and they had 3 years to get ready.
Yeah.
The guy who was the first GM of the Rockies, Bob Gebhardt, told me this story, that first winter after the franchise was awarded, Vegas was trying to convince both teams to put their spring training in Vegas. And they brought both GMs out for a weekend, whining and dining and going to this and going to that. And they did a Saturday night dinner at the top of the Stratosphere Tower.
Oh, wow.
And Geb, we called him Geb. Geb said to the mayor of Vegas, well, when do you have to put this up for a vote? And the mayor laughed, and he took Geb to the window at the Strat Tower and said, you see all these buildings along Las Vegas Boulevard?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. He says, you tell me you're coming here. We'll have a press conference tomorrow, and they'll make certain there are shovels in the ground.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that's because that's the way it works.
It is.
Town.
Yeah, it does. It does. Quickly, back to Zach Gallen then last night. You said something on the show, and I snickered when you said it, where you said, well, he'll probably be trade bait, and the Cubs would probably be one of the teams because they were interested earlier. All right, if I'm a team looking for a starting pitcher, and I see a guy right now whose ERA has exploded and also now is 1-4.
Yeah.
I'm not making that call for that guy.
No, his ERA in the month of May is 10. Woo. And that's I've heard the first whispers this morning that there might be a change in the rotation.
That would shock me.
Jeremy Faught may work his way back into the rotation.
Okay.
It's shocking to me, and I'm trying as hard as I can to be lenient toward D-back starting pitchers because I'm saying to myself, okay, if you take the mound and your offense is only going to scratch out 4 or 5 hits and maybe score 1 or 2 runs, you've got to pitch like you have to throw a no-hitter to have any chance to win. And maybe that's what's messing Zach Gallen up. I don't think that's it, but yeah. It's unfortunate because he's on a 1-year deal and he's trying to prove to baseball.
Yeah.
You guys made a mistake.
I'm still quality.
And you should come after me this winter.
Yeah.
Well, so far, he's not making the case for it.
I was disappointed in what I saw, that they jumped on him so quickly. In our replay rewind, we will get into some of the sounds on that. Jock Peterson nailed him right away. However, Vargas came right back and hit a solo shot and tied the game. And I thought, okay, now let's see what's going to take place. And the wheels came off the wagon. They just came off.
Yeah, 4-run 5th inning that essentially knocked him out of the game. And, he did. He went 4 2/3 innings, 7 runs, 7 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Fought, by the way, pitched in that game last night, finished up the final 3 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts. Would I be surprised if
I would not be surprised, but are you going to move Gallen then to the pen like they did with Brandon Pfaadt? Are you going to do that? Or does Gallen stay in the rotation and you just give Pfaadt a start here and there to see if he's got his stuff?
I think it's an interesting question.
Well, that's why I'm here.
That's right. Or does Zach Gallen get the Alec Thomas treatment? Now, I say it for this reason. Again, he's on a 1-year deal.
He is on a 1-year deal. He's not real expensive either.
You're right. At this point, if they put the word out to the other 29 teams and said he's available, they're not getting a lot of calls. I'm not suggesting that, but this is an organization. We talked about this the other day because of the urgency for Mike Hazen and Torey Lovello. They've already exhibited much less patience with individuals who aren't performing.
Yeah,
well, here's an individual who is not performing. I wonder if they would consider a move to move him elsewhere.
How long do you give him to prove himself? Another 3, 4, 5 starts? Or is it maybe 2?
I would say 3.
Okay.
And if he hasn't brought those May ERA numbers down, 3 more starts covers the month of May.
It does.
If you don't bring those numbers down, you got to start thinking about if you're given the track record to this point in the season where Mike Hazen and Torey Lovello have both demonstrated much less patience. Alec Thomas, if this is 2 years ago, Alec Thomas is still here and he gets time to work it out and figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall on the year, Gallen's ERA is 5.65. His one-loss record is 1-4.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, there's too much indication there that you can't depend on him for even in a number 3 spot in the rotation to get you very deep in game. Actually, he's the 4th starter. It goes Kelly Rodriguez, Soroka, Gallen. And it's like, okay, even as a 4th starter, he's not really he's not hitting the standard you expect out of a 4th starter.
Man, oh man. I didn't expect the conversation to go this deep. I thought it would be more shallow. I need a snorkel so I can breathe. Look, the thing that you have defended your point extremely well. And,
thank you.
And so I am leaning that way. I wasn't ready to kick him to the curb.
No,
but you made the point that if it's 3 starts and you're still getting the same as what you got last night, you may not have a choice.
If his ERA for the season is still hovering near 6 by the end of May,
yes,
you may not have a choice. Ryan Nelson, who starts tonight, his ERA is 5.68.
Oh, I know it is. It's high. Yeah.
And if this team is seriously, I mean, this gets back to the whole thing. Is this team really a contender? I mean, if you look at them on paper, you think, well, if a couple guys played above their normal numbers, would they knock on the door of a 3rd wild card? Yeah, probably. But if that's the real opinion of the D-backs front office, they can't wait around. They can't wait around on Gallen. They can't wait around on Nelson. They've already demonstrated they weren't waiting around on Alec Thomas.
Oh, you're right about that. Interesting. Hey, that brings us to our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question of the day. State 48 Roofing for a free roof inspection before leaks hit, and you can keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. You can go old school and just call them 480-268-4509 or just go online at state48roofing.com. Again, that's state48roofing.com. Interesting that this question ties into exactly what we were discussing. The question is, what is Zach Gallen's rest of season outlook? 1, bounces back, finishes as the ace. 2, solid but not dominant. 3, struggles all season. 4, traded by the deadline. All of those played into our conversation that we just had for 10 minutes. All you got to do is just go to Roc and Manuch on X, also on Instagram. Cast your vote. We will update throughout the course of the program. This segment presented by Lerner and Rowe. Just make one call. That's all. Lerner and Rowe, 602-977-1900. When we come back, it is our replay rewind. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Rock for RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all their innovative web tools on RightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at RightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing, Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people with upfront pricing before the work starts. So there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplumbingarizona.com. ROC number 268603.
She walked miles with her granddaughters every day at Disney with zero knee pain, but she couldn't have done that months ago. This all started with a visit to QC Kinetics.
We have spent the last 4 days going from park to park, walking all day long, no pain. I feel fantastic.
Here's what baffles people when they hear Kathy's story.
The doctor said, you need 2 full knee replacements. And I said, that's not going to happen. I went to QC Kinetics, started treatment that day. Within a couple of weeks, I was absolutely pain-free.
It's the kind of story that QC Kinetics hears from patients all the time.
I cannot thank QC Kinetics enough for giving me my life back. I'm active again and loving it. I'm well over a year out. I've had absolutely no pain in either knee.
Before you agree to surgery, listen to this. Think about it.
Tomorrow is Animal Kingdom, so yeah, gotta go.
Kathy's glad she took them up on the free consultation. We have one set aside for you.
Call QC Kinetics, 602-837-7246 in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Peoria, and Chandler. That's 837-7246, 837-7246.
Social connection keeps your brain strong. So does a challenge. When you stay socially and mentally active, your mind stays engaged, and you might even lower your risk of dementia. Learn something new, pick up a hobby, or catch up with a friend. Up to 40% of dementia cases could be prevented or delayed by addressing risk factors like loneliness and inactivity of the mind. Explore alz.org/healthy habits for more tips. This message is sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association and the Arizona Department of Health Services.
Now it's time for our replay rewind. Take top sounds of the night and whatever Rock decides to add. Let's get to it in replay rewind with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620 and on FM at 98.7 HD-2.
Welcome back, everybody. We go all the way till 4 o'clock. It's Jimmy B. Yo Money today. Are you a country western guy? Or is that
Not really, but I spent 8 years, 7 years working in country radio.
Oh, wow.
In at a station here in town that is quite familiar to a lot of country music fans.
Wow. When I started out, this is before everybody on this planet was born, and I started at KSPO Radio in Spokane, Washington. $2 an hour, a weekend country disc jockey.
That's some pretty serious money in those.
Man, oh man. My name, because I wanted to sound country, my name was Bobby Owens.
Hey, was he related to? Never mind.
Here's a song by Tex Ritter.
Yeah. Well,
what?
I worked for a guy named Owens.
Did you? Okay.
I thought I told you that.
No.
The station, the country station that I worked at.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say call letters of other stations in town?
I don't care.
KNIX.
Okay.
It was owned at the time by a fella named Buck Owens.
Oh, the country singer Buck Owens.
The Hee-Haw Buck Owens,
yeah.
The country singer,
Yeah,
Love's
I
Gonna
loved
Live Here
Hee-Haw.
Again.
I thought that was one of the greatest shows ever on TV.
And the man was a brilliant businessman. He had 5 or 6 radio stations in 3 different towns, Bakersfield, Albuquerque, and here.
Yeah.
One of them was a rock station.
Okay.
But that's why
the
logo has always been the red, white, and blue guitar, because that's what he
played. Yeah.
And people would say, does he come by the station? Yeah, he would every once in a while. He's very low key. He always was wearing a jogging suit, and he'd just kind of come wandering in. Knew a lot of people by their first name, and he'd go get right back in his limo and take off.
Hey, young blood, I got a question for you. Did you ever watch the show Hee-Haw, Laz?
Never even heard of it.
I
bet it's about a cowboy, though.
All right, Laz, you got to look up and then let me know when you have this. We'll put it in our replay rewind. Look up the show Hee-Haw. Where are you tonight?
I'm on it.
See, Jeff knows. Jeff knows that song.
Give me about 30 seconds.
You and I could do that.
I know the entire freaking song to this day. Unbelievable.
They used to bring in celebrities
Oh,
to
they
sing
did.
it.
And they would be like big time sports figures, or even some
Johnny
politicians.
Bench did it one time.
Yes. And they would all sit there and sing that stupid song.
Well, it was, and Hee Haw was a 60-minute comedy
Country type. It was laughing.
It was laughing
only
for a country audience.
Yeah.
And it was on CBS, I think, for a year, and then they cleaned out all the what they called the rural shows.
Yes.
Then Hee Haw went to syndication and lived there for like the next 17 years.
Right. Yeah.
And it was a Saturday night staple on Channel 5 when Channel 5 was an independent.
She hauled off and said, "You ain't got good sense."
We can all sing this.
Is this right?
This is it. Man, turn it up. Here we go.
You are smiling. Your teeth look more like an old picket fence.
You tonight, did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over and thought I found true love. You left another, you was gone. Oh my God! Oh God! Oh, the FCC is going to come in here.
Encore.
Oh no, that's enough.
Hey, look, if it got on television, it'll get on here.
Oh,
okay?
God, you're not kidding. Quickly to our replay rewind, since we just lost our entire listening audience.
We're going to hear from the bosses on
Oh,
that
man,
one.
you're not kidding. Let's get to the D-backs game last night. It all began with this guy named Jock Peterson.
Now the pitch is swung on. That is drilled out to deep right field. Peterson admiring as he hooks it inside the right field foul pole for a solo home run.
All right, but then you came right back because Vargas, who is just playing lights out right now, does this.
Swung on. That's it well. Deep left center field. Osuna going back, looking up, and it is gone. A rocket shot off the bat of Ildemaro Vargas. That is his 7th of the season, and he has tied the game at 1.
He has been the best surprise so far this season.
Can you imagine what that team would be like if he
without
wasn't
him?
there?
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
oh.
Unbelievable. All right. So after they lose 7-4, here's the skipper, Torrey, in the locker room talking about struggles.
It's the same group of guys. The majority of the guys are here that have done it for the past couple of years. So I know guys are still getting their timing. Gabby and Lourdes are still working hard to get up to speed, and it's coming for them. Other guys are just having grinding years right now. So when it gets moving in the right direction, we're gonna start to play D-back type of baseball, especially at the plate.
All right, so look, it's a long season. It goes all the way into September, and we are only in the middle of May. I am not in any sort of panic mode whatsoever, but I would like to see some sort of consistency.
Yeah, and
I haven't seen that.
He's right about in the case of Gurriel and Moreno, they're coming back from injury, so you gotta
they
grade
catch
on
a break.
curve.
They catch a break. Yeah,
but there's some other guys in that lineup that's not the case. And you look at him and you think, Perdomo's numbers are still down. I'm getting back to the box score from last night.
Okay.
He's still hitting in the 220s, even though I believe he had a 2-hit game last night. Let me just find that. And Corbin Carroll, 263, not bad. Marte, 0 for 4, 208.
Yeah.
And I guess he was the one that went to Torrey Lovullo and Mike Hazen and said, I'd really like to hit leadoff. Well, if he's hitting the way he normally hits, great idea. That means you're probably getting 5 at-bats a game.
Right.
But right now, 0 for 4, his on-base percentage, this is a leadoff guy, 261.
Mm-hmm.
On-base percentage, slugging's 364. You don't have to be much of a mathematician to figure out the on-base OPS is in the 620s, and it's like 620 is great for radio frequency, but it's not an OPS.
My mom said there'd be no math on this show. Let's listen then to the skipper after the game on his starting pitcher, Zach Gallen.
Yeah, first of all, the Peterson ball, it was a clean home run. The second home run kind of threw me off a little bit. And then, Zach made some mistakes and put some runners on, and then we failed to make a couple plays behind him. That's why it's a beautiful game. It's a team sport. And that's where you got to just kind of settle in and say that we're going to get this done as a team. We didn't do that today.
Thank you to Arizona Sports for the highlight and the sound bites with Torey Lavello. Look, we all know that they play again tonight, and it is at the Rangers Park, and you can listen to it on our sister station, 98.7. NBA game last night. We had a great discussion about Victor Wembanyama, and if he should have not played, he should have been suspended for a game. My guess is, Jeff, if you would have asked the Minnesota Timberwolves, they were hoping that he would have been suspended for a game because he went off last night.
Wembanyama from the outside. Minnesota. Wemby putting the moves on Gobert, has 11. As Wembanyama has the ball a lot and is doing lots. Castle right back to him. Feeling it. Wembanyama, an unbelievable start here tonight. Win in transition, knocking down a 3.
Thank you to NBC for the highlights. They rolled, particularly in the second half, over the T-Wolves. They lead that series now 3-2. It goes back to Minneapolis for Friday. National Hockey League, and look, I love hockey. I always have. I miss the Coyotes here. I really do. But I have kind of dialed in a little bit with the Las Vegas Golden Knights. They're having a really good series with Anaheim. This is the way the game ended in OT last night.
Contact. Eichel has it. Across the border.
God, I love the hockey horn, and I miss it so bad.
I love the atmosphere.
Yes.
And it brings up an interesting question. You talked about latching onto another team.
Yeah.
I've got Cox Cable.
Okay.
And one of Channel 15's little sister stations.
Okay.
Shows both Utah Mammoth and Vegas Golden Knights games.
Okay, good.
And I assume they show Utah Mammoth games because they think people here in town still want to see the team that used to be the Coyotes.
Right.
My quick question, and you guys might have done a poll question on this in the past. Who is this town's NHL team now? Is it the Vegas Golden Knights?
I doubt it.
It's not the Mammoth.
I don't know. It's not the Mammoth. I think people signed off on that. I don't think they really have one. I really don't.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is. It's not like football, like when your team leaves and goes to another city, like the Chargers left and went to LA from San Diego. You still have San Diego Charger fans that watch them no matter what, or they drive up to LA and go to the games. That's just not the same. It's not the same.
You still see some people occasionally in Coyotes sweaters.
Sweaters, yes. Yeah.
But to be very honest about it,
yeah,
the hockey team in this town now is ASU. You go to an ASU hockey game at Mullet and you see a lot of Coyote
jerseys.
Because where else are they going to go?
Well, that's where you get your hockey fix.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the only spot. Hey, Replay Rewind presented by Lerner and Rowe. Interact need a check? Just make one call, 602-977-1900. Always at lernerandrowe.com. Quick timeout. Suns radio analyst Tim Kempton is going to join us. We're going to get into the NBA playoffs. Right now, let's get you to an ESPN 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs dropped Game 2 of their 3-game set in Arlington last night, falling 7-4 to the Rangers. Zach Gallen struggled on the mound, allowing 7 runs over 4 1/3 innings, snapping the D-backs starters' quality streak process. Tonight is the rubber match as Arizona looks to take 2 out of 3 from Texas. First pitch is at 5:05. Pre-game coverage beginning at 4:30 on 98.7 FM. Also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. This month, every big sports moment runs through Twin Peaks. From the NBA playoffs and UFC to the Indy 500 and more, catch all the action on wall-to-wall TVs with ice-cold beer and scratch-made food. Twin Peaks, where the beer is cold, the views are scenic, and game day is always bigger. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views. Tim Kempton will join the guys next.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, Arizona State football fans. London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil ticket office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Getting rear-ended once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner and Rowe today.
977-1900.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Right in the heart of Arizona Athletic Grounds, one of the largest youth sports complexes in North America. Bristol's is the ultimate hangout for families and sports fans in Mesa. Come experience amazing double-decker cheeseburgers, award-winning wings, smoked barbecue, and fresh, craveable salads. With seating for 500, a full bar, 20 beers on tap, and over 100 TVs, happy hour Thursdays, Friday and Sunday from 4 till 6, plus trivia night every Thursday night. Bristol's, where Mesa comes to eat, watch, and win.
Megan's grandfather bought his first Ranger here. Her dad bought his first F-150 here. And she just drove off the lot in a new Ford Expedition for her family. 3 generations, all choosing Sanderson Ford. Visit Sanderson during their anniversary sale and see why. Right now, purchase any new Ford and get a $500 Circle K fuel card on Sanderson. We have your first 5 tanks covered. When you're in the market for a new vehicle, choose the dealership families have been trusting for over 70 years. Choose Sanderson Ford. Not valid on fleet or AXZ or D-Plan purchases. Offer expires 5/31/26.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
See, I was so waiting for Timmy to come on the show today because I got big man questions. Welcome back, everybody. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Yo Money is on the show today with me as well, Tim. Jeff Munn, world-class, long-time broadcaster in the Valley. Let me begin first with this. You at 6'10", 6'11", your playing weight was 240 to 250. How would you try to defend a guy who is 7'5" in the paint?
Absolutely fold them in the middle. But they don't let you do that anymore. You don't let them do that anymore. That's why he's unbelievable. I mean, we talked about Porzingis being a unicorn. You talked about some other guys. Victor Wembanyama at 7'4", and what his skill set is just unbelievable. So, yeah, he's a tough one to defend. And then he changes the game on the defensive end. The block shots that he occurs, and then all the drive through the lane. Oh, Victor's here. I'm going to drive out the other side. That he doesn't get credited for a block shot, but he changes your offense just by being in the middle. Unbelievable talent and getting better, unfortunately, for the rest of the league.
Yeah, well, you're right. He's going to be there for a while. Tim, first of all, it was great to see you at the airport the other day.
There you go.
Thank you. Still in Florida. Just got off the golf course.
I was going to say.
To the beach the other day. Yeah.
By the way, when you said to me you were going to Florida and I pointed to the south and said it's over there, I meant your gate, not Florida.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I thought about that later. I thought he probably thinks I'm being a jerk by saying it's over there. Anyway.
Hanging in the Bradenton Beach area. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, I've been there. It's pretty nice. They're at a point now, 3-2, and Game 6 is in Minneapolis, but I would think that basketball fans are saying to themselves, just give us Oklahoma City and San Antonio and let's get on with it.
I think you're right. I think that's because Victor Wembanyama is so different and has such an effect on the game. I think everybody's saying that's the only chance. But, now Victor Wembanyama has really got to play defense. Who's he going to guard? Chet Holmgren? Okay. He's going to go to the three-point line, so he's not around the basket changing all those shots when those guys attack. Oklahoma City, we said it the last time we talked, guys. They are just so good. You can complain about the calls, which I did profusely.
Yeah, you did.
And, but they are just an amazing basketball team, the way they move it, the way they share, the way Mark Dagnall played 9-10 guys, the depth of that team. And the physicality that they play with is unheard of. So I think people are looking forward to the next series, but I don't think anybody's really got that much of a chance against Oklahoma City unless someone. They're doing this without Jalen Williams. A.J. Williams has stepped up and has played just as well, if not better, than Jalen Williams. They did that series to the Lakers and to the Phoenix Suns without Jalen Williams.
That's a great point that he's not even on the floor. And they just have one player after the next who comes off the bench and lights you up. I mean, it was painfully obvious in the Lakers series. The Lakers played lights out and still couldn't win. In that last game, I thought LA played a solid game, and yet they come at you in waves like a National Hockey League when the skaters are changing lines. That's exactly what Oklahoma City does.
Yeah, you talk about it. The game's 48 minutes long, and Oklahoma City just has more players for 48 minutes. You take LeBron off the court, you take Luke Kennard, you take Austin Reeves off the court, and your offense is going to slip. You take Shea Gilgeous off the court, Jalen Williams, and their offense gets better against their second team with McCain and AJ and the other J-Dub out there shooting threes and Alex Caruso. So, the depth of that team and the consistency that they play throughout 48 minutes is really what separates them from the rest of the league.
We're talking with Suns radio analyst Tim Kempton here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Over in the East, I guess a few people, I listen to a lot of national shows back east out of New York, and a few Knicks fans are saying, is it really a good thing for us to have this much time off? I will say this, and you remember this, Tim, in 93 when you were on the Suns team that went to the finals, you go 5 games, the maximum against the Lakers, win, get right into the next series against San Antonio. Western Finals, you go 7 with Seattle. You're right into the finals against Chicago. There is something to be said for the momentum you get in a deciding game. But at this time of year, I don't think it's ever a bad thing to have an extended rest period, is there?
No, not at all. Because you look at Oklahoma City now, they have all this time to get Jalen Williams back in the fold. You're still practicing, you're still working out, and you see the elite teams, it takes them about maybe 8 minutes of that first quarter to get that sharpness back. Yeah, you may have a little rust, but it's not rust for a week. It's rust for, 8, 9, 10 minutes, then you're right back into the swing of things. So I would take rest over the continuity, especially if you're missing guys.
Yeah.
If someone's banged up, little nicks and bruises, love to rest going into the next series. And I would take that team any day of the week.
Cleveland, Detroit, and the New York Knicks. Any of those 3 teams, could they have an opportunity to upset either OKC or the Spurs or not?
Well, they'll have an opportunity to be in the series, but they ain't got a chance in hell in beating them.
That's what I like about Timmy.
Yep.
Well, one of the things
He didn't
I like
shy
about
away.
Timmy.
That's
He's
for
just right
sure.
to the point.
Yep. What do you see? What do you see when you watch the East compared to the West, Tim? Is there that much of a difference in the style of play?
Yeah, right now it just looks, if your superstars aren't playing well in the East, you're going to have a tough time. I don't see the depth in the Eastern Conference that you see in the Western Conference. Even San Antonio, they go deep into their bench. Those guys come out and perform. If you can slow down one of those superstars, you got a great opportunity to beat them. If you slow Cade Cunningham down for Detroit, if you slow Donovan Mitchell down, if you slow Jalen Brunson down, if you get one guy, you look at what the Lakers tried to do against OKC, take the ball out of Shai Alexander's hands. How'd that work out? McCain stepped up and Caruso stepped up, and and on and on and on. I think if you do that successfully, if you slow down like a Jalen Brunson with the Knicks because they're in the next, they've already made it to the next series, I think you got a great chance of beating the Knicks and beating the Knicks. I don't think they have the depth and the wherewithal for someone else to step up and hurt you as much as Jalen Brunson would.
Timmy, can I ask you a Notre Dame question?
Of course.
There was a story yesterday that Notre Dame is kind of reversing course, and they're reaching out to USC to try to bring the football rivalry back. And I made the contention that I think Notre Dame, football-wise, is getting to the point, we're reaching that point where they're going to have to seriously consider joining a conference. You're an alum. Would you agree with that?
I don't agree with that. I think they're fine the way they are. I think, and this is obviously a very prejudiced decision, but the likes of people canceling that game is we talk about the RPI and get now that they've stretched the basketball playoffs. Do they stretch the football playoffs even further? Listen, I know it's an arrogant statement, but Notre Dame is a national program. Money, you know it.
Yes.
They go all around. They go all around the country. People show up. You got idiots like me that support them left and right because we love the place and we think it's special. So if you want to play us, great. If you don't want to play us, so be it. I understand what other programs and other people are thinking. I think, listen, again, a very arrogant statement, but I think there's a little bit of jealousy involved that Notre Dame stands out there by themselves, and people are kind of, hey, why do they get to do it when we can't do it? And I get it. I understand it. But, Notre Dame will have always plenty of people to play. And obviously Notre Dame and NBC have a great relationship. We get to watch those games every weekend, but the fans follow as well. They play Wisconsin up at Lambeau Field to open the season, which is phenomenal. They go around the country. If you go to USC, that stadium is going to be filled. If you go to Florida and take on Miami or Florida State, the stadium is going to be filled with those people. So, it's a very biased, arrogant statement, but at this point, I don't think they need to. They have enough money. They're making enough money. Players get seen on national television every week. So I don't think it's a drawback as of yet.
Okay, then let me follow up with this one. When the committee, and you can be the fan and alumnus on this one as well, when the football committee ditched Notre Dame and selected Miami, and it proved they were right because Miami went all the way to the championship, then Notre Dame said, well, we're not going to go play in another bowl game. So did they shortchange all of the kids, all of the players by doing that? Or was that Notre Dame arrogance saying, well, if you're not going to play by our rules, we're not going to play by yours?
From what I know,
okay.
It was a collective decision. That wasn't a top-down, Marcus Freeman, athletic director, president of university, saying, oh, they didn't do that to us, so we're leaving. From what I know, that was a top-down decision. Players were involved in it. What do you think? And here's the other thing.
Okay.
If you look around the country, if it's not in a championship bowl game, how many players elect to not play in the game?
There is that.
Yep.
There is that. So, here's the situation. If you're not going to be able, because if the players say, no, hey, coach, I get it, but I'm not going to play in that game. I want to get ready for, ready for the combine. I want to do the, so from what I understand, the players were definitely involved in that decision. Was it the right decision? I don't know. I would have liked them to go play a bowl game and smack someone right in the mouth. From my standpoint, that's just my personality. Mm-hmm. But I get it on both sides. If because you and here's the thing, I can argue. I'm not arguing against Miami in that situation.
Right.
Who am I arguing against, Money? Who should not have been in that playoff series?
I can't. I'm trying
Alabama.
to remember.
Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama. You're right.
Alabama sucked.
Yeah.
They should not have been there.
Exactly. Everybody keeps on talking about, it was Notre Dame, Miami. No, it was not Notre Dame, Miami. And I've said that if you've heard me talk to anybody, it was Notre Dame, Alabama. And in that regard, that was that was the SEC, that was ESPN coming together and saying, okay, we're going to stick by our guy, because Alabama had no reason, no rhyme of being there. That was the one. I had no argument with Miami beating them.
Okay.
Being there. And Miami beat them earlier in the season.
Yep.
They had run the table. Congratulations to Miami. It was Alabama and the SEC and all the BS that those guys talk about. What's his name? Feinbaum, who's never snapped a ball in his life, like he's the king of football down there.
See, I love having Timmy on the show because if we push his buttons, he just goes off, and it's great. Absolutely great.
By the way, I did go to South Bend last summer just to visit, and you're right. The place is unbelievable.
You got to go back for a football game. You come back with me, Money. We'll do it.
Well, I got a priest friend at Notre Dame who keeps saying he can get me tickets. I'm going to take him up on it.
Yeah, got to do that.
Well, take him up on it then.
I'll do it.
Timmy, we'll let you go play golf. Thank you, man, for taking time. All right. Enjoyed it as always.
Jimmy.
There you
Talk
go.
to you soon.
Yeah, that's Tim Kempton, everybody. Suns radio analyst. We got a little sidetracked, but it was great.
Okay, so this priest I know at Notre Dame, I did ask him one time, do you get football tickets? And he said, Jeff, I'm a priest at Notre Dame.
I guess, yep. Okay, I'm coming to visit. By the way, you can follow Tim Kempton on X at SunsTK, at SunsTK. We are presented, of course, today by Lerner and Rowe. We will continue. Coming up next, we're going to get into a little On This Day and some football at 50. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Join us at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for the Mizuno Fitting and Bonus Trade-In event. Test drive Mizuno's JPX1 Woods and JPX 925 irons. The woods and irons have combined power and speed for more consistent distance. Trade in your current clubs and receive 50% bonus trade-in towards your Mizuno purchase. Book your Mizuno fitting in-store or online at worldwidegolf.com. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home of the legendary 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof.
We get it. A meal shouldn't cost you nearly $20. And we agree. At Venezia's Pizzeria, lunch or dinner for under $10 is still a thing. And for an even sweeter deal, stop in and grab a Slice Rewards card. Get a stamp for every qualifying Slice special. 10 visits, 1 free qualifying special. Simple. And every Tuesday, we double your stamps. That's your free pizza twice as fast. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition with great rewards.
Hey, it's Gambo, and I'm with Stuart Willis, the president of Asset Preservation, Wealth, and Tax. Stuart, there's all these different phases to save in your life, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. But when you get close to retirement age, isn't it wiser to start to make sure that you're more conservative with your money instead of more aggressive?
First of all, it all depends on your comfort level with risk. You don't want to mess up your retirement. You see the finish line is close and you want to be done. Most people know this. People who want to be rich buy stocks. People who are already rich buy fixed income, which is why you've moved to a more conservative approach personally.
Yes, because it's important for me to make sure I protect the money I've been able to save so far.
That's why it's important to know exactly what your comfort level with risk is.
So if you want a financial advisor that can work with you and help you with the risk management, call Stuart Willis at Asset Preservation, Wealth, and Tax at 602-877-PLAN for a free portfolio review.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back. A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Now, time for your Right Toyota on this day report. Right Toyota, right on the corner, right on the price. Right Toyota in Scottsdale.
All right, you can't get rid of us that easy. Here we go with a little on this day. And in 2005, I remember this like it was yesterday because it was big news. Golfer Tiger Woods misses the cut at the Byron Nelson Championship, and that ends his record of 142 consecutive cuts made.
I forgot about
for
that.
the last 7 years on the PGA Tour.
Completely forgot about that.
142 consecutive cuts made.
I mean, you think today, Scotty Scheffler misses cuts occasionally.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah,
his records are like Wilt Chamberlain. Like,
yeah,
they really are. You just what? He did what? Yes, 142 consecutive cuts, and it ended on this day in 2005. All right, so there you go. A little football at 50. It is presented by our great partnership with Lerner and Rowe. Just make one call, that's all. It is indeed Lerner and Rowe. So let us begin with this. We know the NFL schedule is officially going to be released tomorrow. So I looked today, and they are releasing the games that are international games, Jeff.
Yes.
And there are like thousands of them. At least that's what it feels like. We will begin with the Rams and 49ers in Melbourne, Australia. That is week 1. The Ravens and Cowboys in Rio de Janeiro, week 3. Patriots and Lions in Munich, Germany, week 10. Vikings and 49ers in Mexico City, week 11. And the league's first ever Paris game, it will feature the Steelers and Saints in week 7. London gets 3 games, and Madrid will host the Bengals and Falcons. We are going so international now in the NFL.
Yeah, and you know, there's a part of me that wonders why, because every time somebody brings up the subject of putting an expansion team in Europe or in Mexico. There's
Yeah.
about a million reasons why it wouldn't work.
Yes.
Logistically. And so it's like, I get you're wanting to have a global footprint, but don't you have that already?
I would think so. I mean, I would think if you just, when they first began this, it was cool to see them play at Wembley.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. And maybe they did it once or twice a year. Now they're getting to the point where it's almost every weekend. Now,
Yeah.
look, I like it from the standpoint because when I wake up in the morning, football's on.
6:30 in the morning.
Well, I don't wake up at 6:30. I pick
But
it up
that's
at
when
about halftime.
Yeah, it kicks off at 6:30.
Yeah, so like 7:30, 7:45 is more like my time. So that's when I pick it up. But from a selfish standpoint, as an NFL viewer, that works great for me.
Yeah,
but I don't know if we've gone off the deep end here or what.
Well, the NFL keeps trying to find ways to push the envelope on this. I've had a theory for a long time.
Uh-oh, here we go.
If the NFL decided they were going to put a card table out at the 50-yard line at Soldier Field on pick a day in June,
okay,
and have a guy go out at noon at that table and eat a bowl of chicken noodle soup, as long as it had an NFL logo on it, it would be the highest rated show in prime time. Am I wrong?
Probably not if it had an NFL logo on it.
That's I've always believed that. So it's like, okay, play the games anywhere you like. Want to go to Australia? Fine. Planes leaving once a day.
Wow. Hey, when we come back for the beginning of hour number 2, ASU women's basketball coach Molly Miller is going to be our guest. I got questions, especially about the expansion and if anybody really wanted it.
Don't ask any questions about the broadcaster.
Oh, I won't.
Yeah.
Because Yo Money is the voice.
We don't want any of those stories.
We don't want that?
out.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, pal. I won't ask her about your job on the air. Anyway.
Not on the air, it's the problem.
Molly coming up in a little bit. We also have Campus Quickies at the half hour as well. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD2, always on the Arizona Sports app.
We're living through a monetary crime scene, and your IRA or 401k is a key victim. Hi, Dr. Ron Paul here. In 1971, gold was $35 an ounce. After the dollar was cut loose from it, inflation soared. And in just 9 years, gold hit $850. People who diversified into precious metals survive and thrive. Today, we're in a worse position because we face inflation and massive debt. Fortunately, gold is still an option. My trusted friends at Birch Gold Group can help you own gold inside your retirement account without penalties or taxes. Start now by getting a free info kit on gold. Text the word SECURE to 989898. We're facing the same monetary chaos as the 70s with significantly more debt. Get your free info kit from Birch Gold. Just text SECURE to the number 989898.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Join us at Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade Event, our biggest trade event of the year, May 14th through the 17th. Trade in your RV and get the highest value guaranteed. Then upgrade for less with new RVs starting as low as $94 a month. Plus, take 25% off select maintenance services. Save up to 40% on camp-ready must-haves. And enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Red, White, and New Trade Event at your local Camping World, May 14th through the 17th. We'll see you there.
Nobody does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Nobody. Whatever you're craving, we got it. Tequila cocktails, premium bourbon pours, and top shelf spirits served over ice balls that hit just right. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails, yep, all here. And with 5 Valley locations. And don't forget the teeth-chattering 29-degree drafts we're famous for. Pair it all with scratch kitchen bites that actually satisfy. From shareables to hearty favorites. When it comes to happy hour, Twin Peaks doesn't play. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views. You push hard. You train hard. Shouldn't your soda work just as hard? Meet Who Knew, the superfood nutrition soda packed with whole vitamins, electrolytes, and antioxidants. Only 5 grams of natural sugar. Over 2,000 5-star reviews. Voted the #1 soda for athletes. Whole food nutrition. Great taste. That's Who Knew. Go to HUNUsoda.com and use code ESPN for 10% off your first order. Who Knew Soda. Soda that's actually good for you. WhoKnewSoda.com. Code ESPN.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
All right, everybody, here we go. We're rolling all the way till 4 o'clock this afternoon. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Jeff Munn in for the boys today, or as we refer to him now, because we've been so well schooled, Yo Money. So he is.
Now, see, our next guest is gonna start calling me that.
Well, why shouldn't she?
Well, that's true.
Everybody else does.
You're right.
Money.
You're right. You're right.
Everybody does. It is with a great deal of pleasure. We say good afternoon to Molly Miller, ASU women's basketball coach. You can follow her on X at Molly Miller 33. That's at Molly Miller on X 33. Molly, welcome to the show. And I appreciate you taking time with us. I've got questions, girl. I really do. I really do.
Well, I'm excited to be here because it's off season. There's nothing better than talking hoops when you need a little itch of it.
That's perfect, and that's why we wanted you on the show today. The committee, the NCAA committee, has expanded the field. You guys made it in your first season as head coach at ASU into the play-in. Are you in favor as a coach of expanding the field, or were you of the assumption if it's not broke, why try to fix it?
Yeah, man, coming in hot with the question.
Absolutely. I don't mess around, girl.
I think back to my DCU days, honestly. Was it a great 64 field? Yeah. And were we a last four in with the buy-in? So did I like it because we were on a bubble that we had a shot? Yes. But I really looked to the mid-majors in this instance because we were on a 30-game win streak. If we won 32 games, but if we did not win our tournament, we were not making it in.
Right.
But I feel like in an instance like that, Grand Canyon could have gotten in without having to, play their best basketball and win 3 games in a high pressure situation. Now we were fortunate to win the tournament and get in, but sometimes I look to those mid majors and the UNLVs of the world, and that could leave some room for them, which is that a bad thing? Maybe not, because I've experienced what it's like to have to win your tournament to get in, but be really, really, really good and be handcuffed just because your conference is in a strong strength of schedule. So, there's some scenarios where I think it would benefit the mid majors, especially.
Take me then to you making the leap from Grand Canyon to ASU and jumping into the Big 12 conference. Look, on the men's side, it's by far and away the best conference for basketball in the country. How big of a leap was that, and how did you navigate it and get to an opportunity to be in the play-in game?
Yeah, well, what I was grateful for is the brand transcended levels and conferences. So we got after it defensively. We absolutely were going to be convicted to pressure defense. And that's what helped us win a lot of ball games. We had to manufacture some things offensively, We didn't play as much in transition as maybe I'm used to, just because I think you have to put your players in the best situation and scenarios. But we played really hard on defense. So I'm glad that transition made its way to the Power 4 ranks with me, because I was pretty convicted to that side of the ball and how we were going to play that side of the ball. When you make the leap, you've got access to a little bit higher rated, ranked, touted players in the country. That's great. I don't think we recruited just based off talent, which was one of our assets, is we recruited based on fit, and we were very honest in the recruiting process of what the work was going to look like. And it wasn't for everyone, but for the right ones who ended up committing and taking kind of a leap of faith and following what we thought would have been, a great decision and our vision. And when they did that, we were all bought in. So we all had this clean slate. I say we all because there was new coaches involved. When it came to assistants, there was new players there. Even the trainer who had been there, that was going to be a new system for her to learn. So everything pointed in the direction of we really are all in this together. So the buy-in is what I think really led us to put us in a position to win games, and therefore put us in a position to make the tournament.
Coach, it's your broadcaster here.
Yo, money.
Yeah, that's great, Molly.
I knew it.
Molly. That's great.
Are we going to do that every pre-game interview next year?
Yo, money.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for him to live up to his namesake and put a nice NIL package together.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're going to have to talk to Sean Crespin about that, because I don't have any control. Listen, and she still calls me Jeff, which I appreciate.
Not anymore.
Probably not anymore.
Yeah.
You talked about fit, and I can personally attest to this, that the players, the student athletes that Molly brought in weren't just talented. They fit the culture that Molly wanted to establish. And I know, Coach, that was central to the group that came in this year. The transfer portal class has received some really high national rankings, which is a testament to what you've already established here. But I also know that it was important to you to have student athletes that fit the culture.
100%. I mean, that has to be first and foremost. I think especially in this landscape, when you're dealing with, what's in it for me type mentality, I wanted to recruit kids, one, that actually love the game of basketball. There's so many transactional scenarios out there, and I just want to avoid that. So do you love the game? And if you love the game, you're going to put in the work to get better. And when you get better, you're going to be a good teammate, and then you're going to be coachable. So that was a number one for me. I just wanted players who love to hoop. As cliched as that sounds, I think we're missing that sometimes. And, when I played, when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, we were playing for a club team, and it wasn't a shoe circuit. You weren't playing to get a scholarship. You were playing because you loved the game and you wanted to make it to nationals. And then it was double elimination, and, losing mattered and it meant something, and winning mattered. So I wanted to get players that had that mindset that winning was important. They loved the game. And then they wanted to be a part of something special that we're building here. Always players that put the team before themselves. That's kind of a non-negotiable in our system. So we have those conversations. It's going to be we over me, and the team's going to come first, and you're going to care about the person next to you, maybe more so than your self-interest sometimes. So we had conversation with these kids. It's like speed dating. You got to get to know them really, really, really quick. It's not the casual 2-year courting that you do with high school players. It is fast and furious, but we do our due diligence on every touch point too. We'll talk to their AU coaches, their high school coaches, teachers, parents, friends. So we do a good job of really digging into the people that they are before we decide to recruit them.
Molly Miller's our guest, everybody, on ESPN 620. Okay, let me follow up then on what you just referenced. The women's game off the court, like what you just spoke about, is different than the men's game now. The men have a lot of NIL money, and they utilize the portal. For the women, you have some or a little NIL money. You utilize the portal, but is still high school recruiting where you get your best players.
Yeah, it's all relative to your situation also. We had to recruit 10 players last year from the portal. this year we only had to recruit 5, so we cut our job in half because we had 3 incoming freshmen. And the year I got the job, they didn't have any incoming freshmen signed. So it determines a little bit on necessity and need. If we need a veteran point guard, which we did this year, we signed a freshman one, but we couldn't just, probably put all our eggs in the freshman point guard basket. So we had to go to the portal and fill that need also. So I think it determines on depth, and I still want to recruit high school kids. There's value in that to me. I think I can be a hybrid approach where, you want to recruit good high school kids with the thought and process of development. But then you want to be able to, because we're a destination spot, we have a good track record with recruiting proven college kids from the portal. So plug and play a little bit there from the portal, and development from the high school scene is what we want to build our program around.
Coach, you mentioned this is a destination point, and it's not just the success of the program, although that's a destination point all by itself. But Phoenix just got done hosting a Final Four. The Mercury opened their home schedule last night. You had your debut on television. I was at the game, so I didn't see it, but the reviews I'm getting is you did exceptionally well, which I would have expected.
Oh, thank you.
This is becoming, they've said for years that Seattle is a great women's basketball town. I think it's time that Phoenix get into that category because of the success of the Mercury, what you're building at Arizona State. The attendance went through the roof this last year. It sounds like the NCAA is very interested in coming back with a women's Final Four as soon as possible. This is a tremendous growth market for women's hoops right now.
100%. And they had over 10,000 fans there last night. It was close to 11,000. And to see that energy in the building, everyone was brought together by a common denominator, and that was women's hoops. So I believe that it's growing. We're at this bridge now of opportunity is meeting excitement and growth. And to be at the forefront of that, not only for things like the women's Final Four, but to have this new chapter at Arizona State, get off the ground to a good start. Now, I'm never satisfied. I'm pretty competitive. So in my mind, we just set our floor. But all those things combined, it's fun. And you want to be fun for families. You want to be fun for corporations, for donors, for future players, for kids. I mean, for retirement people. You want to be able to bridge this gap of generations and interests, and I think we're doing that. And I know I'm biased, but the women's game is so fun to watch. Mm-hmm. We are not, having a 3-point contest or a one-on-one contest. There is movement, fluidity, team basketball. The skill level is becoming incredible. When I did that broadcast the other night, they played Olivia Miles. She got drafted by the Phoenix Lynx, or the Minnesota Lynx.
Right, yeah.
And she was, I was like, I had PTSD because I had to scout her about 2 months ago when we played TCU. But to see her, she's a generational passer. And to see her, what she did in college, and now she might be the leading scorer right now for the Lynx. I know she leads them in assists, but she changed that game, that tempo for them. And I was just so impressed by this next generation of female athletes that are coming our way that we get the privilege of watching and hearing their stories. And that's where I think the women's game has made a big jump too, is in the storytelling of our athletes.
I'm with you on that, Molly, 100%. About a minute left. With Caitlin Clark and the way that things took off when she was playing for the University of Iowa and then moving into the WNBA and the Indiana Fever, were you hoping that there would be someone or several people who could impact the game and change it the way that has now changed just in the last couple of years?
Oh, 100%. She opened the door for really the possibilities. And like I said, the skill level of our sport has taken leaps and bounds. So you're going to see more of those players that can really impact the game and influence and grab a crowd.
There she is.
And oh yeah, I watched her play, and she's on a commercial. So it's cool to now be a part of women's sports, and people like her are making that the thing to do and the places to be and people to see.
Molly, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on our show today. Thank you for tolerating me and putting up with your money.
Coach.
Anytime. Go easy on my man.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it. See you soon.
All right, y'all be good.
Thank you. Molly Miller, everybody, once again, head women's basketball coach, ASU, beginning her second full season. Once again, you can find her on X at Molly Miller 33. We're coming right back. We'll dive into some of the top stories, and then at the bottom of the hour at 2:30, we have Campus Quickies as well. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Join us at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for the Mizuno Fitting and Bonus Trade-In event. Test drive Mizuno's JPX1 woods and JPX 925 irons. The woods and irons have combined power and speed for more consistent distance. Trade in your current clubs and receive 50% bonus trade-in towards your Mizuno purchase. Book your Mizuno fitting in-store or online at worldwidegolf.com. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home of the legendary 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
Join the team at All City Towing, Arizona's largest towing company and leader in roadside service. We're hiring dispatchers, call takers, lot attendants, drivers, and customer service pros ready to grow with us. You'll enjoy state-of-the-art equipment, consistent schedules, full health benefits, a strong 401k match, employer life insurance, and a monthly fuel allowance. Take your career to the next level. Apply today at allcitytowing.com. All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
A family office is a team built to handle the three biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Trajan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm, under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Trajan today, 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
Jimmy B now on ESPN 620.
Yeah, what do you got, Yo Money?
Every time I hear this song, I think of Caddyshack.
Why?
Rodney Dangerfield at the country club throws money at the band and says,
yes.
Hey, Ringo, take some lessons. And they immediately bust into Boogie Wonderland.
They do. They do. Hey, Laz, have you seen Caddyshack? Is that in your wheelhouse?
Yeah, I've seen Caddyshack.
You have? Okay.
It's a classic.
Okay. All right, I'm just
My
checking.
son has not seen it. I keep
What the
every
hell?
year.
How can he not see it?
There are 3 movies, and I thought about this last night because he and I went to the Mercury game together, and he I thought, what am I going to ask him for Father's Day?
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask him for a gift. I'm going to ask him to come over and watch 3 movies with me.
Okay.
That he's not seen, but he's heard his dad talk about. Caddyshack, Animal House, and Back to School.
He's never seen those 3 movies?
No, and Back to School
is
is a Father's Day movie because it's about a dad that's trying to do anything he can to help his son.
That's it.
Don't mind the humor and the silliness.
It's a wonderful show.
That's that one scene where Burt Young, as the limo driver, tells the son, your dad's looking out for you.
Yeah.
Look out for him.
Yeah.
And
It's a great line.
That's it. That's the movie right there.
That's it. Yeah.
Anyway,
okay,
that's
our movie review. Have you seen Back to School,
Good
lads?
night, everybody.
No, I have not seen Back to School.
I can't believe
That'll
that.
be my homework for you, Money.
Oh,
I will
man.
watch Back to School this weekend.
Okay.
And report back to you next week.
You have to do a book report on it for next
Listen,
week.
there was a guy that we worked with here in the radio station that was not going to be at ease with anything until I watched The Sandlot.
Are you
And I
serious?
did. I watched it.
Yeah.
I'd never seen it.
Everyone's seen The Sandlot.
I have not seen The Sandlot.
How long ago was that?
The Sandlot? You haven't seen that?
How long ago had I seen it?
Yeah,
2
did
years
you finally
ago.
watch it? Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a guy. I mean, our former colleague Nick Sadowski.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah,
He was a Chicago fan like me, I think.
Yes,
from
he was.
Chicago.
Yeah.
He's from Chicago.
Yeah.
And he insisted that I watch The Sandlot to the point where he gave me the DVD and said, "Take this home and watch this."
Wow.
And I said, "Okay," and because it's a baseball movie.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
I did. It took me a while to figure out where they were going, but once I figured it out, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is cool."
Hey, speaking of baseball, not a pretty sight last night for Zach Gallen. Once again, he gets shelled and is out of the game. His record now is 1-4. I guess we entered into the conversation yesterday about if the wheels run off the wagon here before the trading deadline, that you thought teams would make a call for Zach Gallen. With what you have seen so far in this season, I think those teams are few and far between at the moment.
Yeah, and the reason for that, you like to think, well, Zach Gallen still has talent and potential, but what role would he fit on a contender right now? He'd be a 2-inning guy. Well, you're not making deals at the deadline for 2-inning guys that are going to pitch the 5th and 6th if the starter flames out.
That's it.
So you're not making that kind of deal. And I'm not certain, and the D-backs weren't, I don't think they'd do it under any circumstances either. If he straightens himself out and the team continues to fade, they're not really fading at the moment, but if they start to fade,
They're like in a holding pattern is what they are, around 500.
Look,
That's it.
Yeah, but you and I both know if you're around 500 and it's September, you're in the wild card race.
You can be.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that was essentially last year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And so I don't know. See, this is where the expansion of the playoffs to add another wild card team makes the trade deadline more challenging.
Okay.
Because there are so many teams now that can say we're in it and we'd like to make a trade, but who are we going to trade with? The teams are out of it. How many teams are really out of it? And there may be 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're out of it, it's probably because they don't have any talent and you don't want any of their players. So I just, and I'm not bemoaning that. It's just, if the D-backs were one of those teams that was out of it, I don't know how I think they would get calls about Zach Gallen.
Okay.
But I don't know where he would go. And at this point, what role he would fill, because you can't plug him. How are you going to sell that to your fan base?
Mm-hmm.
We acquired Zach Gallen. We gave up a prospect and he's going to start Friday night. And it's like, what?
And and when you acquired him, he's 3-9.
Right. And his ERA is 6.
Yeah.
That sounds to me like a guy you have pitch mop-up duty.
Yeah.
If the starter gives up 5 runs in 3 innings.
Okay. The same 2 teams are at it again tonight in Arlington, Texas. It is the Rangers. Ryan Nelson on the round this evening, who has also had a few issues throwing the baseball.
This is what, and this is essentially what the deal is on the D-backs. It's the pitching or the lack thereof.
Okay.
And we said this last week. If they do fade, if they are out of it toward August, and Corbin Burns is getting ready to come back from Tommy John surgery, I'd be half tempted to say, you know what, Corbin, it might be better if we just wait until pitchers and catchers in February. I'm not sure I want to rush him back and have him pitch in games that may prove to be ultimately meaningless and have him go out there trying to throw 80, 90 pitches.
He's making a lot of money, Jeff.
I know.
For doing nothing.
And I'm not saying the owner would sit there and base everything and tell the GM, no, you got to run him out there because I'm paying him.
Yeah.
But yeah, the one thing, the one criticism of the Burns signing that I had is there's a scout that I talk to regularly. And he said the theory in baseball has always been you never sign free agent pitchers for longer than 3 years.
Okay.
Because if you do, and the guy has Tommy John surgery, now you got to eat about a year and a half of that money. You don't get any return.
Right.
You can get out of the deal quicker if you've signed him to 3 years instead of they signed Burns to six. They get it. They get a hometown discount.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
This is what, Bill Parcells' line. You are what your record,
says you are.
Yeah. And they are a team, the top end of the rotation. Merrill Kelly's had better starts. Eduardo Rodriguez has been hot, and Michael Soroka has been a tremendous addition.
Yes, he has been.
After that, Gallen and Nelson. See, I really do think I might have called him Jeremy Fott earlier.
Yeah, you did, but I let it blow by, and then I said Brandon Fott.
Yeah, that's because I'm old.
No, it's not that. I just let it fly by, and there was
who was I thinking of that I would say Jeremy Fott?
I don't know.
But Brandon Fott.
Jeremy Roenick?
No, I wouldn't confuse those two. Don't get me started on Jeremy Roenick. But Brandon Fott,
yes,
I think, has got a real shot.
At getting back into the rotation.
I give Zach Gallen. I think we said 3.
3.
Okay, I could live with giving him 3 more turns.
Okay.
By June 1st, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Brandon Fott was back in the rotation.
All right,
take your chances.
Yeah.
Or here's the other question I keep bringing up: where are the stud starters in the farm system? Where? The Brewers bring up a Mizorowski. The Pirates draft Paul Skeens, and he's in the big leagues. And there's more besides Skeens. It's like, where is the hot starting pitching prospect in the D-backs farm system?
That's a good question.
And that's part of the problem. They keep having to go out and make these deals. And again, I can't criticize the Soroka signing. The guy's been phenomenal.
No, he has. He's done well.
But you had to sign Eduardo Rodriguez as a free agent.
Yeah.
Because this farm system has not produced. When was the last time a stud starting pitcher drafted and developed by the Diamondbacks? You might have to go back to Brandon Webb.
I was just going to go say that. That's amazing.
And I'm not knocking well,
you are. You're knocking.
I guess I am knocking the farm system.
You are, but it's a one position. They have had success with other players, with everyday players.
Absolutely.
They've had success. However,
Absolutely.
You have hit a hot button here as far as pitching is concerned.
Yeah, and look, and you're right. And to be fair to the front office, they have had a lot of success with position players.
Mm-hmm.
But this game's won by pitching.
It is.
And I've always said this. In October, pitching wins. You give me the team, out of the, how many is it? 14 teams that go to the postseason every year?
Right.
14.
Yeah, 14.
Give me the team that has the hottest pitching staff, and I'll take them to win it every time.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't always work out that way, but this
probably game, 80% it does.
Yeah. In any level of baseball, pitching wins.
Yes.
And so, you have to hit. Look at what's going on right now. They scored 4 runs on 4 hits.
Mm-hmm.
You can't win many baseball games on 4 base hits.
Well, they all came late in the game last night as well, and it was already 7-1. So, it was
and against the bullpen.
Yeah, against the bullpen.
So, that's, to me, as much success as they've had with position players in drafting and developing, this organization badly needs, and I think it's got to be an emphasis this next June draft. Get me some arms.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Campus Quickies are on the way. Right now, Laz, however, has your ESPN 620 Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs dropped Game 2 of their three-game set in Arlington last night, falling 7-4 to the Rangers. Zach Gallen struggled on the mound, allowing 7 runs over 4 1/3 innings, snapping the D-backs' quality start streak in the process. Tonight is the rubber matches. Arizona looks to take 2 out of 3 from Texas, and first pitch is at 5:05. With pregame coverage beginning at 4:30 on 98.7 FM, also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. This month, every big sports moment runs through Twin Peaks. From NBA playoffs and UFC to the Indy 500 and more, catch all the action on wall-to-wall TVs with ice-cold beer and scratch-made food. Twin Peaks, where the beer is cold, the views are scenic, and game day is always bigger. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
May is loaded at Twin Peaks, and there's no better place to catch every big game, fight, and playoff moment. Get wall-to-wall TVs, made from scratch food and ice-cold beer served at 29 degrees. Plus, mark your calendar for Customer Appreciation Day, Tuesday, May 19th, featuring a burger and fries special with the purchase of any beverage, championship matchups, title fights, international action, and the best seat in the house. It's all happening this month at Twin Peaks.
You push hard, you train hard. Shouldn't your soda work just as hard? Meet Who Knew, the superfood nutrition soda packed with whole vitamins, electrolytes, and antioxidants. Only 5 grams of natural sugar. Over 2,000 5-star reviews. Voted the #1 soda for athletes. Whole food nutrition, great taste. That's Who Knew. Go to HUNUsoda.com and use code ESPN for 10% off your first order. Who Knew Soda. Soda that's actually good for you. HUNUsoda.com. Code ESPN.
Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the Grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com.
It's Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, trusted across Arizona for helping injured people after serious car wrecks. And I'm Sean Forrester, managing attorney at Lerner & Rowe Law Group. We may sound alike, but Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a completely separate firm focused solely on criminal defense. We handle serious felonies, DUIs, and misdemeanors with decades of courtroom experience. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call Lerner & Rowe Law Group now at 602-977-1900.
Rope is the way to go. Call 977-1900. Megan's grandfather bought his first Ranger here. Her dad bought his first F-150 here. And she just drove off the lot in a new Ford Expedition for her family. 3 generations, all choosing Sanderson Ford. Visit Sanderson during their anniversary sale and see why. Right now, purchase any new Ford and get a $500 Circle K fuel card on Sanderson. We have your first 5 tanks covered. When you're in the market for a new vehicle, choose the dealership families have been trusting for over 70 years. Choose Sanderson Ford. Not valid on fleet or AXZ or D-Plan purchases. Offer expires 5/31/26.
When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
It's Quickies, your weekly quick look at the Sun Devils, Wildcats, Lumberjacks, and Lopes info. Exclusively on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on ESPN 620.
Everybody, welcome back. We roll all the way until 4 o'clock. Let's get this party started right now with ASU. That means that Adam Beadle is our guest. Devils, it's Hod. Oh, we got Hod. Okay, so they wrote down Hod. I have to tell you this. We have a rookie who's working with us, and he wrote down that it was Adam, where in all actuality today, it's the real guy, the real deal, Hod Rabino, Devil's Digest. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Yeah. Thanks so much for Adam for filling in for me for the last couple of weeks when I was out of town. I'm sure you did a great job. But yeah, I'm back in the saddle.
Okay. By the way, Jeff Munn, Yo Money, is working the show with me today, so you will hear his.
Just so you've been warned, Hod.
Yeah. Just so you know. Hod, let us start. Let us start with men's basketball. I have a question for you about how the expansion and moving to 76 teams, how do you think that is going to play in for ASU now that they have a brand new head coach in Randy Bennett and trying to rebuild?
Well, the fine folks at ESPN already released their bracketology after that expansion was announced. And yes, ASU is in the field in the quote unquote playing game.
Yeah.
So I would say yes, in theory, that does benefit the Sun Devils. You never know how a first year transition under a new coach is going to work out, but obviously expanding the field is something that can only help a team like ASU that's replacing its entire roster from last year and having a new head coaching staff to boot.
Hod, a football question, and we really haven't, or a lot of people haven't really had the chance to study this schedule quite like you have.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yeah.
Concerns? Are you hearing concerns? I don't know if the word's concern, but just issues involving that stretch where football goes from College Station against Texas A&M to London. I've heard some stories that they're going to go directly to London from College Station. They may come home for a day. There are some challenges with that trip to London, just in terms of, getting there.
Yeah, well, you actually bring up a great point, Jeff. And first of all, I'll start with something you didn't mention, but also I think important and really unfortunate, if you will. As you know, the game in London is technically a Kansas home game.
Yes.
So Kansas and the Big 12 approached ASU, and ASU, being the team player that they are, decided that, yes, we'll play this game, even though it's after the most challenging road game of the entire year at Texas A&M. So what does the Big 12 do? They actually give Kansas an extra day off. So Kansas is actually playing the Friday before that London game.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and ASU is playing Texas A&M at a kickoff time TBD. And I know for a fact, and it's probably not going to come as a surprise, that ASU is hoping that the SEC and Texas A&M will agree to an early kickoff because, like you said, they're on a plane to London. Now, last I heard, because of logistical reasons, ASU cannot fly out of Houston directly to London. Houston is obviously the closest airport to College Station, but they actually have to fly from Houston to Dallas and then from Dallas to London. Now, maybe that has changed from the last 4 weeks that I've heard this, but that is the plan last I heard. So there are some logistics involved. There is something as innocent as it can be unfortunate that Kansas is getting one extra day off. So I'm not saying ASU has a built-in excuse not to play well in that contest, but it's just unfortunate that those elements right now, at least on paper, are working against them.
Damn, Hod, I'm glad we had you on the show today. I found that to be really interesting, to be honest with you. That is a dilemma that they are going to have to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, maybe Jeff has heard something more updated than.
No, I really haven't. To be honest, Hod, I haven't.
Okay,
I know when Tim Healy's going. The football players, I don't know anything about.
Yeah, I mean, I think coming back to the Valley from that Texas A&M game and then flying to London is just going to be a logistic nightmare when you talk about a traveling party that at the end of the day is going to be like, 120, 30 people. So I think they just want to fly out of the state of Texas as quickly as possible to London.
I got news for you. I'd want to get out of Texas as fast as possible as well. Thank you, Hod. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, guys.
There you go. That's Hod Rabino, Devil's Digest. Let's go south to Tucson. Glenn Howell is our guest. He is the pre-halftime, post-game show host. It's always fun when we get him on the show. You can find him on X at Glenn P. Howell. Welcome, pal. How's everything in Tucson?
What's happening, fellas? It's doing just fantastic. Looking forward to the fall and it's football season.
All right. So I have a question. I have a question for you. Being a guy who is in tune with the U of A, when the schedule comes out, are you just like fans? Do you look at it and go, that's a win, that's a loss, that's a win, that's a loss? Or do you just go one game at a time?
No, I look ahead and, say that, yeah, we can win that game. I do. I definitely do that. And, I think, I look at our schedule. We got NAU, the first game, and then, the tester for the team, I think, for this whole season is going to be that second game at BYU in Provo. That is going to be the tester of this team. I'm really happy that we have that first game against NAU and just be able to get all the kinks out if we can and maybe have a solid game and be ready to go up to BYU. And I think that's going to be a barometer of what this U of A football team is going to be this year.
Glenn, it's Jeff Munn. I do what you do on the ASU broadcast. And I hope your job's easier after games some weeks than mine is. And I just
last year it was good. Last year was good.
I do remember that game in late November. It had to be a real fun post-game show. This is kind of a 30,000-foot overview question, but your athletic director, Desiree Reed-Francois, when she came to Tucson, she inherited a financial mess, and it looks like she's really gotten the house in order, not just in terms of reducing expenditures, but obviously the success of the programs has brought in more revenue. So I would think that the financial picture at the U of A is in much better shape now than it might have been even 2 years ago.
Yeah, it is. And you got to give her a credit, man. She's had a good little run here with all the teams look at all the success of all the teams that are under the Arizona Athletic Department. You look at our tennis team is doing really well. Our golf team is really, really well. Our girls softball team got into the playoffs.
Yep.
Okay. Baseball's having an off year. Football team had a great year. It's basketball, unbelievable season. So you look at those teams, and the volleyball team made it to the playoffs, and sand volleyball did well. I mean, you're looking at all these teams that are doing really well under her direction. The money's starting to come in, and I think but money is always a problem. I'm telling you guys, from here on, every single year is going to be a challenge if you're not a Texas or if you're not a Michigan, if you're one of our guys, like we are, we have to struggle with money all the time.
You're
think
preaching to the choir, Glenn.
Yeah, it's just a really tough nut to get, on every single year. So every year that when the fiscal year ends, you got to get right back on the treadmill and keep running, man, because it's you got to get that money coming in.
It's always good, pal, when you come on the show. Great information as always. Thank you, Glenn. Have a good week.
Bear down, fellas.
There you go. That's Glenn Howell, everybody. Let's go to the mountain right now. And that means that Mitch Strohman, longtime play-by-play voice of the Jacks, is our guest. You can always follow him on X at Mitch Strohman, especially when he sends out pictures of him on the beach in Hawaii wearing a banana hammock. That's awful.
What?
Yeah, he sent a picture
What?
out. Yes, I saw it. I texted him back. I said, dude, you can't be doing that.
Oh. You notice he's not saying anything?
No. Mitch,
it wasn't a banana. It was a kumquat. So I'm not sure where you got the.
Now I'm speechless.
You gotta get the fruit right,
man.
guys. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. Hey, Yo Money, Jeff Munn is with me today. So.
Hi, Mitch.
Moneyball is in the house. It's
See,
great
he's
to
got
hear you,
one.
Dave.
He's got one. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. Everybody's got their nickname for him, and like a Dumbo, I did not know his nickname was Money. So once I found out, now it's Yo Money.
You're burying the lead here. He just said kumquat.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I know. I tried to let it slide by so we don't get kicked off the air.
Hey, Jimmy B, if you can't tell the difference between a banana and a kumquat, I'm not surprised you didn't know his nickname was Money. That doesn't surprise me at all. You got to get with the program here, brother.
Tell him, Mitch. Tell him.
So we just had Glenn Howell on, and he basically said, yeah, after we smoke NAU, then we have to go play real football at BYU.
Oh, my.
Isn't that the way you interpret it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Is that going to happen, Mitch?
Well, I don't see it quite the same way.
Okay.
Obviously, I would like to think that NAU, who I believe will come in at the beginning of the season, ranked in the top 25 of the FCS, will get down there and be at least somewhat competitive. We do have some of the best offensive weapons in the FCS in returning quarterback Ty Pennington, great offensive line. We've had a humongous recruiting season. Head coach Brian Wright, top 3 in the country in the FCS in both the high school recruiting class and the transfer portal recruiting class. A lot of FBS drop-downs to NAU, looking to showcase their talents. Who knows? I'm not calling for the upset. I'm just saying, don't just go into that game thinking it's going to be a walkover. This NAU football team, I think, is on a trajectory to be a championship caliber team in the Big Sky Conference.
But Mitch, you've been through this scenario many times in football at NAU. The best time to get a football bowl subdivision team is week 1, because you just said it. You've got a bunch of great offensive weapons. And whether it's Arizona or anybody else who's a Power 4, you might catch them a little bit flat-footed because they may not be ready for what you're going to roll out.
You know, Jeff, that is a solid point. Let me give you the counter argument to that. Couldn't you also apply that same thinking to an FCS team that's playing an FBS team?
Yeah, it could.
And by that, I mean this. Normally, we might play the U of A or ASU in week 2 or 3 of the season, oftentimes after playing a Division II team in one of our kind of preseason warm-up games.
Okay, I got you.
Where I don't think that we're getting that full picture of what the team is capable of doing yet. We're going to open the season week 0 on August 29th in Flagstaff against Eastern Washington in a Big Sky Conference game. We come right out of the gate having to play a conference game, guys. And it's funny, Coach Wright has talked about that during the spring football practices that had ended a couple of weeks ago. He told those guys, look, we're coming out and we're going to have to play a game that actually counts in our world, in our conference, out of the gate. So I expect the team to have a different preparation perspective and model going into that game. And that means I think they'll be more ready to take on an ASU team or any team. It's a Power 4 team.
That's a great
when
point.
That game comes into play in week 2 or week 3, if you follow my thinking with that.
I do. And I think you make a great point. All I ask you to do.
Goodness, this is my day.
No, wait.
Not only did I get to say kumquat on the air,
that's
I got Moneyball in my corner. This is a good day for me.
Listen, I'm a Flagstaff guy. As long as Bigfoot Barbecue is still open down in that indoor basement of that indoor mall, we're in good shape.
Amen, brother. And it's still open, and it still rocks the brisket like nobody's business.
You got that right. I was just there a month ago, and that place is awesome.
Yeah, it is. All right, take your kumquat and get out of here. You have a great week.
You guys, it's great to talk to you. Jeff, great to hear from you too, man. Have a great rest of your weekend. Go Jacks.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you, brother. There you go. That's Mitch Strohman, everybody. Longtime play-by-play voice of the Jacks. Hey, our Campus Quickies presented today by All City Towing, and you can join All City Towing. They are the state's largest towing company. Hey, look, if you were looking for a new job, check out All City Towing because they are looking to hire drivers and dispatchers and customer service people as well. Look, they pay very well. They have wonderful benefits, including a monthly fuel allowance. Do you get a monthly fuel allowance, Jeff?
No.
Well, if you worked for All City Towing, you would. Just go online and check out allcitytowing.com and search careers. Again, that's allcitytowing.com and search careers. It's All City Towing, where your future is always moving forward. When we come back, a little random fact of the day and some football at 50. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620.
Now open in North Scottsdale. It's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs. Right off Thompson Peak and Bell. Next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club. A one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills. Just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. The insurance company's job is to pay you as little as possible. Our job is to get you every dollar you deserve. Call Lerner and Rowe today and let's make them pay. Call 977-1900.
Call 977-1900. Phoenix, if you need a plumber, call the team that does it the right way. Victory Plumbing Arizona. It's particular plumbing for particular people with upfront pricing before the work starts. So there's no surprises when the job's done. And here's a deal just for listeners. Tell them you heard Victory Plumbing on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, and they'll waive the service charge. For leaks, clogs, water heaters, or anything plumbing, book today at victoryplumbingarizona.com. ROC number 268603. Fight fans, Twin Peaks is your headquarters. Catch the greatest fight night action all month long, including premium matchups and wall-to-wall sports with no bad seat in the house. Grab made-from-scratch food, scenic views, and ice-cold beverages served at 29 degrees while every punch, takedown, and main event plays across the lodge. Don't watch the fight at homes. Watch them at Twin Peaks, where the energy feels like fight night. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, it's Gambo, and I'm here with Stuart Willis, the president of Asset Preservation, Wealth, and Tax. Stuart, I know so many people that retired. They worked so hard. They built up that nest egg, and then they don't realize that they're going to get hit on taxes, even on Social Security. How do you help people like that?
Well, here's the thing. I think you're absolutely right. Number one, Social Security tax comes by surprise. People almost always owe money their first year in retirement because they never thought Social Security is taxable. That's why it's important to have a financial plan that includes a tax plan. And how do you do that? You have tax efficient or tax-free retirement in retirement, not just all those 401ks and IRAs. And there's tons of solutions there.
As long as I've worked with you, you have always said it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you're able to keep. If you want a great plan going forward, call Stuart Willis from Asset Preservation, Wealth, and Tax at 602-877-PLAN or go to assetpreservationwealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor.
And Manuch with Jimmy B now on ESPN 620.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. So a little random fact of the day. So when you were young, Jeff, did you happen to see Muhammad Ali in his prime in boxing?
Did. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you saw him fight Frazier. You saw the Zaire where he beat Foreman.
Oh,
you saw all that. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because on this day, the guy you're doing this radio show interviewed Muhammad Ali in beautiful Eugene, Oregon, prior to him making a speech at the University of Oregon that night.
That had to be a thrill.
It was at the time, and probably still is to this day, the greatest interview that I've ever done. And I've interviewed, and like you, I've interviewed a lot of people, from sports to politics, you name it. I've had that opportunity to do that. And to this day, it just rings true in my mind. And I've told the story. I'm not going to tell it again on how it happened, but it's when anytime this day pops up, I just think back as a punk kid with a porno mustache, the size of the state of Idaho on my face, and having the opportunity to talk to the champ, even though he was not the champ at that time, because he had turned down induction into the service. Yes. And it was off the charts the way that it happened. You got anything like that sticks out to you? Like, I mean, I didn't prep you on this to tell you what I was going to do, so it's short notice, but I just wondered if something like that stands out to you in your career.
There was one, and I'll try to zip through it as quickly as I can.
Okay.
Barry Bonds last year.
Sure.
In the major leagues.
Yeah.
Barry played at ASU. Yeah. I was the PA announcer there when he played.
Okay.
So whenever he would come in, he kind of acted like he remembered me, but I wasn't really sure. And his last year, I asked he had a PR person separate from the Giants.
Yeah.
And I said, could I get an interview with him for, I was doing D-backs radio at the time. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to talk about the ASU days. And I thought he's probably going to say no. And she came back to me and said to meet you at his locker tomorrow at 3:30.
Wow.
He gave me, in the segment he's supposed to be on was maybe like 3 minutes. He gave me 20 minutes.
Wow.
And we talked for another 10 after the taping.
Wow.
And it was just about, you remember this game, you remember this player.
And he knew.
And he and I were just comparing notes with each other. And I get it. I get the whole deal on Barry Bonds.
Yeah, with Barry, yeah.
But you're never going to hear me say a bad word about the
No,
guy.
I covered him in Pittsburgh, and he was great to me.
And the funny little side note, they take the interview upstairs, and people listen to D-backs radio have heard the name Leo Gilmartin forever.
Yeah.
He's the producer and engineer of the broadcast. I just dropped off the interview in a little tape machine I was taping it on.
Yeah.
Went to have dinner. I hadn't sat down, and my phone blew up. Get back to the booth now. And I ran back, and Leo was not convinced it was Barry Bonds. I said, no, this is Barry Lamar Bonds. And he said, well, we got to call the station and tell them we got Bonds. I said, no, I want to hear how many people really listen to this show. And so we just matter of fact it. Our guest tonight is Barry Bonds.
Wow.
Never heard from anybody. Wow. Which meant nobody was listening.
And they missed a great interview.
Yeah. But
Barry talking about his days at ASU.
I'll never forget that day.
Wow. Hey, when we come back, right off the top of the 3 o'clock hour, we're going to dive into the PGA Golf Championship. Tom Lehman is going to be our guest. We roll till 4 today. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Jeff Money Munn is sitting in today here on this world-class radio program. ESPN 620, 98.7 FM HD2, and on the Arizona Sports app.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Join us at Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, our biggest trade event of the year, May 14th through the 17th. Trade in your RV and get the highest value guaranteed. Then upgrade for less with new RVs starting as low as $94 a month. Plus, take 25% off select maintenance services. Save up to 40% on camp-ready must-haves. And enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Red, White, and New Trade event at your local Camping World, May 14th through the 17th. We'll see you there.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, Arizona State football fans. London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil ticket office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up.
KTAR AM Phoenix, Arizona's home for the worldwide leader in sports, is ESPN 620. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B now on ESPN 620.
Wins in a row in the showdown at Strohman. That was pretty cool, actually. Thank you to CBS for the highlight. Last year's PGA Championship winner, Scottie Scheffler, a guy who knows a lot about winning golf championships. You hear him on the show all the time. He was the 1996 Open champion winner. It is Tom Lehman. Tom, welcome, pal, as always. No Roc, no Manuch today. However, Jeff Munn is sitting in with me, affectionately known as Yo Money.
Yo Money. All right. Well,
okay.
No more peanut butter and jelly.
See, there you go. See, okay. So here's my first question to you, pal. I can't wait till tomorrow because it's Jon Rahm, Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy playing together. Does it get much better than that in the first 2 rounds?
Well, it could be a little better, I suppose, but that's pretty strong. I think you put DeChambeau, Scheffler, and Rory together, and I think you got the all-star bracket. But you know what? That's a good pairing. I think I like them all a lot. Spieth is playing a little bit better. He's looking pretty sharp. He's got an outside chance. Rahm, I say, is a long shot, but Rory, I'll tell you what, if Rory drives it well, he's going to be tough to beat.
Tom, I'm from a 30,000-foot view, just kind of pulling back. I was really uncomfortable when the PGA made the decision to move this event up on the calendar. But I got to admit, going into this week, I've heard more kind of build up to the PGA Championship than I ever heard when it was held in August. So I guess the move has been a good one. How do you see it?
Yeah, I think the PGA Championship, it's always been lacking a little bit, and I think mostly because it's in August. It's kind of late in the year, and it's a month after the Open Championship, and so it loses a little bit of. We're getting into football; people are getting tired of it all. Mm-hmm. Even the players, maybe a little bit weary, through that whole run through the summer. But moving it to May, holy smokes! being the first major, that was a great move.
Take me to the course, because as I look at it, does it have similarities a little bit to a links course? Because it seems like it's wide open. They cleared out a lot of the trees, and I'm sure that it's heavily bunkered as well. Give us an idea of that course.
Yeah, it looks, I've actually never played it, but I have seen the aerial, and it does have a lot of similarities into the link style bunkering, with the way it's really forcing players to hit the right line. You got to pick your line, you got to hit your line, or you're going to find a bunker. The only difference is, the bunkers in America are way more playable than those pop bunkers over there in the UK. So a lot of times being in the bunker is not a terrible deal, but you certainly kind of get the same feel for where the line is really important. And I know, watching in the past, DeChambeau won a tournament there, I think the American Express or something, and you hit driver everywhere and just really shortened the course up, because it's really not that long overall. So I think somebody's going to have a great driving week, and they're going to putt well, and they're going to probably take it pretty doggone low.
Okay, then let me follow up with this. Because of what you just said, is it a course then when you hit the green, is the ball going to hold, or have they tricked it up enough where it's really going to be super fast?
Well, it would always be nice to be super fast. I think if you really wanted to test players and they have to bring out their best to shoot a good score, firm and fast is always the way to do it. It all depends upon weather. I think the forecast, at least early in the week, is pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is later in the week, but if they can get a lot of sunshine and get a little bit of breeze and kind of dry things out where the ball is bouncing and rolling with some high rough, I think is going to be torture a lot of people. But like I say, somebody will have a great week off the tee, and they'll take advantage of the fact that it's not that long, and they're going to have a really good week. And, the reason why DeChambeau won a few years back, he was the longest hitter by far, and he just took that course apart with his driver.
Tom, you bring up a point that hits home with me as a golf fan, and I watch tournaments. They always talk about at the U.S. Open how much they toughen up courses, they trick up the greens a little bit, and it's. I know there are some fans that kind of like seeing pro golfers get humbled. I'm the opposite way. I want the bounces to be true in the middle of the fairway. I want the greens to break the way that the golfers see them break. And if a guy happens to shoot 8 under par, great. That's what I'm looking for. And I know that the USGA kind of views it as we're trying to identify the best golfer. But to me, I think most golf fans would prefer to see a tournament where the ball bounces true and golfers are rewarded for their ability to read greens.
Yeah, you would hate links golf then. If
you would. Yeah.
So, but I think the idea, though, of being fair, you hit a good shot, you typically get a decent result. That's, everybody loves that. But I think the firmness of the fairways really is the barometer of who's a great driver. If you can hit fairways when it's firm and the ball is bouncing and rolling. The reason why the Open Championship is the way it is, and why sometimes when the weather's bad, the scores are high, and when the weather's good, the scores are low, is because they do exactly as you say. Here's the course, go ahead and play it, and then we'll let the conditions dictate what the scores are going to be. And so we tend to kind of over here try to force the agenda by having overly long rough and absurdly firm greens, maybe, and whatever. And whereas just here's the course, go ahead and play it. If conditions are soft and you can shoot 18 under, then you know what? Congratulations. If they're firm and windy and you win at 4 under, fantastic. The course won that week. But let the course, let it be what it's going to be.
Tom Lehman is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. I was so happy that you agreed to come on the show today because I got questions. And yeah. I know your feelings on the PGA and the Live Golf Tour. Yeah. How are your feelings right now, knowing that Live looks like it's going to die a slow death?
Well, you know what? Life is all about choices. All about the decisions you make. I think choosing to go play a competing tour should have consequences. If it was up to me and those guys come back, and they come back without any of the status that they left with. You know, they are at the bottom of the barrel on the totem pole of the PGA Tour. You get in when you get in. You got to work your way from the bottom back up again. I don't care who you are. So that's what I would do. I don't know what the plan's going to be, but I think the guys who left, you know, gave up their membership or gave up their commitment, you know, should have to pay a stern penalty. And that penalty to me is not money. It's starting at the bottom and having to work your way back up the ladder like you did when you were younger.
Tom, in kind of a follow-up to that, we talked about this last week on the show. Given the fact that it does appear that the LIV Tour is about to go under, I don't remember that there was a huge hue and cry among golf fans or golf pros to set up another tour, that there had to be a competing tour. And I look at it and think there were a lot of things working against LIV, including the fact that golf fans, when they see a golf event, they're expecting it to be on CBS or NBC, not on Fox. And I wonder to myself, this thing was destined. There just isn't a need. There isn't a marketplace for a second tour.
Well, that's because it doesn't have tradition and legacy and all the things that go with golf that mean so much. You can't, there's no price tag that replaces the history that was created by Walter Hagen and Ben Hogan and Sam Snead and Byron Nelson and Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer. You can't buy that. You have to earn that. And the PGA Tour has earned that. And therefore they carry with it, you know, that legacy and that history and that tradition that matters. And those guys that went to LIV, once they got kind of, I guess, tired of just simply playing for the money and realized what they're missing, you know, by being a part of the greatest tour on earth, they're all kind of wondering, why the heck did I go? And they want to come back. And, you know, I think to me, it's a, you know, what's the right word? I feel a little bit vindicated that the things that the intangibles in golf that golf has always carried is winning the day. And the simple money grab is going away. I feel good about that.
Yeah, it was a money grab, and everybody knew that. In fact, even some of the players came out and said, I can't turn down $200 million. I mean, I understand that. That would be something that I'm sure I couldn't turn down as well. But on the other hand, I think you hit the nail on the head talking about the rich history, the tradition of the PGA, and the top players that have competed throughout history on the PGA Tour that LIV did not have whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have anybody. You know, their biggest legacy is the guys who are playing right now, and most of them have yet to create that legacy. You know, some guys have started, and I think those are the guys that regret most of all what the decision they made to a certain degree, because they spent 4 years. In the case of John Rahm, for example, 4 of his best years, you know, playing somewhere where it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. I mean, and I think when you sit back and think about your career, no one ever talks about, oh my gosh, what a career he made. $250 million. No, they talk about, well, he won 6 majors. He won 50 tournaments. He won, you know, 7 Varden trophies. He's on 9 Ryder Cup teams. Those are all the stats that people talk about. Okay, nobody mentions money.
Tom, I can't tell you, pal. It's always great when you are on the show, and you nailed it with the questions that we had for you today. Thank you, man.
Right.
You have a great day.
Guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Right,
Thanks, Tom.
Okay, Tom, thank you. There you go, Tom Lehman. Man, I love having him on, especially with everything that is taking place now between PGA and LIV. And when LIV began, he was on this show totally opposed to it from the get-go.
And he just hit the point with all this.
He did.
LIV doesn't have a Masters.
They don't.
LIV doesn't have an Open Championship. LIV doesn't have a PGA. And that's what we watched. You can't replicate. I'll just use the Masters by itself. You can't replicate that in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And that's what he's right. Golf is about tradition and legacy. And you can pay golfers a lot of money. And obviously that didn't work out because they're running dry of cash.
Right.
But you just can't. It's the same thing I said when the USGA moved the US Open to Fox. You can't replicate tradition And people are used to seeing these major events, the places they're used to. They want Dan Hicks on the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
They want Jim Nance on the PGA and the Masters.
They do.
And it's nothing against Joe Buck. I love Joe Buck. But Joe Buck on golf? No. And it's the same thing with Liv.
All right, we got another segment coming up, and when we come back, we are going to get into the NBA playoffs a little bit, also set you up as well for tonight's D-backs Rangers game. It's all coming your way. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620.
When it comes to sushi, reputation matters, and Sushi Brokers Arcadia has built theirs on being the best sushi in Arizona. From traditional rolls to bold fusion creations, like our crowd favorite, Seafood Dynamite, and the must-try sushi pizza. We've got something for everyone. Our famous happy hour is every day from 3 to 6:30 with fresh favorites like the California roll, spicy tuna roll, and the surf and turf roll, topped with seared steak. Sushi Brokers Arcadia, 44th Street in Indian School.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Learn and Row, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice during an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Learn and Row, it's the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Join us at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for the Mizuno Fitting and Bonus Trade-In event. Test drive Mizuno's JPX-1 Woods and JPX-925 irons. The Woods and irons have combined power and speed for more consistent distance. Trade in your current clubs and receive 50% bonus trade-in towards your Mizuno purchase. Book your Mizuno fitting in-store or online at worldwidegolf.com. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home of the legendary 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
Let me remind you, Thursdays are where the weekend starts at Twin Peaks Restaurant. Grab an ice-cold Bud Light or a refreshing Michelob Ultra and catch wall-to-wall sports on massive TVs everywhere you look. Big games, cold beer, made from scratch food. Start your weekend early with Bud Light and Michelob Ultra. Thursdays at Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Rich Eisen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payments sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app and share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required. Not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Harry Douglas here to tell you about Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy. It tastes just like the best birthday cake ever. Vanilla, buttery, frosting vibes. It's basically a party in a bottle. And here's the best part. All cake, no sugar. And you know I love my cake. So I get that big birthday energy without any sugar guilt. The bottle's small, easy to toss in my bag, and perfect when I need a quick, tasty caffeine boost to cake-ify my day. The Funfetti flavor is back on 5hourenergy.com or Amazon. Crack open a Confetti Craze 5-Hour Energy shot today.
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
And it was great having Tom Lehman on the show. I mean, he was never, ever in the corner of Live Golf, and I thought he laid it out perfectly, Jeff, when he talked about they have no tradition, they have no big-name tournaments, and they really did not get any big-time national television exposure at all.
No, they
None.
had Fox and the CW, which is you're just not
Well,
going to
they
make
didn't even. They were on randomly there. You had to watch them on a streaming platform someplace.
Yeah,
and it was just terrible. It never really took off, aside from the players who left the PGA pocketing gobs of money.
Yeah, and we were talking about this off air. I don't know how many times, and it happens across sports. Somebody gets the crazy idea, we're going to compete with the established product, whether it's football with the USFL or the World Football League. The league that I worked in, the Alliance, was just a spring development league, kind of like the UFL now.
Yeah.
But then you go to basketball, the ABA, hockey with the World Hockey Association. What possesses these people to think, even back then, that they could take on the established product and win? I don't get it, unless they were just looking for a tax write-off.
The only one that really had some success was the AFL.
Right.
When they finally did some sort of merger, and they moved a couple of teams to it, and now into the AFC.
And the reason for that, and it doesn't really compare to golf, but the reason that league succeeded was that the NFL was slow to put teams into cities, and the AFL seized on it. Because if you look at the teams, there was no NFL in Boston. There was no NFL in Kansas City. Oakland, San Diego, Denver. And all these markets that could support pro football. And the NFL, it was their own fault. They didn't respond quickly enough. But by the time you got to the World Football League, the USFL, what are they going to do? I mean, there were already teams in most of the cities where the league was putting franchises. And same thing with the ABA. I mean, the 4 cities that the NBA absorbed, and they always say merger. It wasn't a merger.
Right.
They absorbed 4 teams.
They did.
Denver, San Antonio, Indiana, and the New York Nets, which later are now Brooklyn.
Jersey, and then Brooklyn.
And it just wasn't that much of a market. And it's the same thing with LIV. I never heard fans say, gee, I wish there was another pro golf tour.
I never heard anybody ever say that. Never.
And they come out with this idea, we're going to do things differently. We're going to play 54-hole tournaments. We're going to have rock music. We're going to have this or that. I never heard anybody say, gee, I wish these tournaments were 54 holes, and I wish they played rock music, at the clubhouse when they start the tournament. No, nobody was saying that. So part of being, I always remember this in relation to when Vince McMahon rolled out the XFL the first time.
I remember that, yes.
The definition of entrepreneur is you try to develop something that fills a void in a marketplace. There was no void in golf.
Right.
So why are they doing this?
Because Greg Norman had contacts, and Saudi Arabia was looking for a way, and they still are, to intertwine with the United States in financial situations, and they got sold on the fact that they could do it with a golf tour, but it didn't work.
It didn't work. And we were talking about this off the air too. How far has Greg Norman fallen in the eyes of the golf world?
Well, he did have a 1-year marriage to Chris Everett.
That's about it.
That's it.
You remember he was the big drawing card on Fox when Fox got the U.S. Open, and he bombed. He was awful.
I know. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Oh, well, anyway, hey, look, the PGA anyway begins tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have baseball tonight. D-backs are on the road in Texas against the Rangers. Ryan Nelson on the bump tonight. Also, we have NBA playoffs continuing. It is Cleveland playing in Detroit. The Cavs over the weekend won both games in Cleveland. The series deadlocked now at 2-2. And if you're looking for an interesting fact, I'll give you one. So far in the NBA playoffs, in the first round and now in the second round, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Jeff, have not won a road game.
And if they're going to do it, they
got to do it tonight.
They got to do it tonight, because you would not like their chances in a game 7.
No.
In Detroit. Any team playing on the road in a game 7, you're asking a lot. But especially, they got to break through tonight. And then if they do, you close it out in game 6.
At your building.
Right.
Look, Donovan Mitchell is so much fun to watch. And I know that it's Cleveland and people don't pay that close of attention to what the Cavs are doing. But if you're looking for something to view tonight and you've never seen Donovan Mitchell play, maybe people watched him when he played for Utah, but he is better now than he was at Utah.
Yeah. And this is also, this is not front and center as a topic in this series, but I think this is probably the last great opportunity for James Harden.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because
yes.
I just don't. I mean, he's had a terrific career in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's obviously going for a ring. This is probably his last best shot.
Mm-hmm. Never made it to a final.
No.
Never has.
No, and that's amazing. But and when they made the deal mid-season to send him to Cleveland, Cleveland obviously they wanted him because they're pushing all the chips in the middle of the table, saying we're going for it right now.
Yeah.
Well, they better get it done this year.
You know, a lot of people dislike Harden's game. And I understand that. There's a lot of I'm going to take the ball, I'm going to dribble for 10 seconds, and then jump around a little bit off that dribble and try to get people to foul me. And then I'm going to try to be in a shooting motion and try to score and get to the line. When he played in Houston, it really did work for a couple of seasons. It really did. They just could not get to the finals. That's all.
Well, it kind of worked in Oklahoma City for a time.
Yeah, it did.
When he was there with Westbrook and Durant.
But he was coming off the bench then. He was the sixth.
You're right.
He was the sixth guy there. And he got the big offer from Houston and went there and became a top scorer. And his game kind of took off from there. But he has not been able to roll with the punches a little bit and adapt to other teams and what they are doing.
And that's why you hear these whispers about him.
There you go.
That he can't adapt. And it's always the teams that he's on always seem to end up falling short of their goal.
Yes, they did with the Clippers.
And he gets blamed for it.
Yep.
And whether and I can't tell you whether that's right or wrong, but you're right. The fact of the matter is he plays the game one way and he can't adjust to the way the team is playing.
There you go.
And yet he's still a guy, Cleveland wanted him.
They did.
And I just
they wanted him because he is a very good passer when he wants to be.
Yeah.
And he takes scoring options, and it's not as heavy then on Donovan Mitchell because you have another guard who could score.
I think that was the whole intent of bringing him in.
Agree.
Was to get some of the load off Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
And as long as he's willing to accept the fact that he's there to be a complementary piece, and that's that's always the $1 million question, so to speak. I think to myself, I wonder what he's going to do if they don't get to a finals this year.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's going to do.
That'd be interesting. It's always interesting with James Harden. It never
You're not
fails.
kidding.
He has been, though, a great donor to ASU.
He sure has.
He has.
He's got his own line now of gear through Adidas. And if you go to an ASU, like the Sparky Stadium shop, the Sun Devil Marketplace, they have tons of
Adidas
polo shirts, jerseys with that James Harden logo.
That's great.
And the ASU teams, the basketball teams.
I tip my cap to him for that. Yeah. I really do.
I do too. He stays very close to Arizona State.
This segment brought to you by Wright Toyota. It's the right price. It's the right selection. Always at Wright Toyota, located in Scottsdale. North Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. It is Toyota. They always have the right deal for everybody. And you can check out their full inventory of pre-owned certified vehicles under $15,000. Just go online, righttoyota.com. That's righttoyota.com. We're going to switch gears and head to football. I got golf questions for Michael Bankston, too. He is coming up next, everybody. But right now, let's get you to a 620 ESPN Sports Center update.
It's now time for your Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's ESPN 620 Sports Center update. I'm Matt Lazarus. The D-backs dropped Game 2 of their 3-game set in Arlington last night, falling 7-4 to the Rangers. Zach Gallen struggled on the mound, allowing 7 runs over 4 1/3 innings, snapping the D-backs' quality start streak in the process. Tonight is the rubber match as Arizona looks to take 2 out of 3 from Texas, with first pitch at 5:05 and pregame coverage starting at 4:30 on 98.7 FM, also streaming live on the Arizona Sports app. This month, every big sports moment runs through Twin Peaks. From the NBA playoffs and UFC to the Indy 500 and more. Catch all the action on wall-to-wall TVs with ice-cold beer and scratch-made food. Twin Peaks, where the beer is cold, the views are scenic, and game day is always bigger. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Right in the heart of Arizona Athletic Grounds, one of the largest youth sports complexes in North America. Bristol's is the ultimate hangout for families and sports fans in Mesa. Come experience amazing double-decker cheeseburgers, award-winning wings, smoked barbecue, and fresh, craveable salads. With seating for 500, a full bar, 20 beers on tap, and over 100 TVs, happy hour Thursdays, Friday and Sunday from 4 till 6, plus trivia night every Thursday night. Bristol's, where Mesa comes to eat, watch, and win. Bigger fields, bigger events, bigger experiences. Arizona Athletic Grounds. Arizona Athletic Grounds is a 275-acre sports and entertainment destination for athletes, fans, and families. Located in Mesa, AAG is one of the largest multi-sport complexes in the country, with over 475,000 square feet indoors and more than 150 fields and courts. From tournaments to training to cheer, dance, concerts, and corporate events, the Grounds does it all. Learn more at azgrounds.com. When hot is not an option, Stay Cool delivers. From patios to warehouses, shops to summer events, Stay Cool's Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube mobile air coolers deliver more air for less money. They're rust-free and backed by more than 40 years of experience keeping you cool. Available now online at Home Depot, Lowe's, and Tractor Supply. Shipped to the store or right to your door. Visit staycool-products.com. Slim Cool Elite and Cool Cube. Get yours today with free shipping and beat the heat.
Join us at Vans Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for the Mizuno Fitting and Bonus Trade-In event. Test drive Mizuno's JPX1 woods and JPX 925 irons. The woods and irons have combined power and speed for more consistent distance. Trade in your current clubs and receive 50% bonus trade-in towards your Mizuno purchase. Book your Mizuno fitting in-store or online at worldwidegolf.com. Trusted by golfers since 1963 and home of the legendary 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Get there.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Need to feed a crowd? Let Venencia's bring the flavor to your next event. We know you have a lot of options when feeding a large group. Ordering directly from Venencia's means you get the best service and the absolute best pricing. There's no per-person fee. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll come up with the perfect plan to ensure everyone's well-fed and happy. Grad party, office celebration, family reunion. Invite Venencia's to the table. Text catering to 411-24/7. That's catering to 411-247 or Venencias.com.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, Arizona State football fans. London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil ticket office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up when it comes to your roof. You don't want
Now back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Now on ESPN 620.
Boot Scootin' Boogie. Banks, is Boot Scootin' Boogie on your player in the car? I'm just curious.
No, that's not on my playlist. No, that's not on my playlist.
Michael Bankston is our guest. He's a terrific guy. We had a great time with him out at the golf tournament, the Lerner and Rowe Gives Back tournament. You can find him on X at Big Bank 90. That's at Big Bank 90. Hey, listen, I just want to say thanks for coming by and hanging out with me and Manuch after you guys were out there on the golf course. That was nice of you, pal. You guys did a great job out there, and you raised a lot of money.
Yeah, Leonard Rowe does a good job with their golf tournaments, and you're right. They raise a lot of money to give to a lot of different charities and give back to the community. So we're always happy to support that. A lot of the guys are involved in different kind of charities, so it's always a blessing to give and receive.
All right, Jeff Munn. Yo Money is sitting in with me today. Manuch is on vacation. Roc's not working either. He'll be back tomorrow. So as we always refer to him, we found out his nickname was Money. Now it's Yo Money.
Yo Money. Okay, yeah, well, then that's who we need to call, the Yo Money.
All right, Michael, we can go with it. I'm not saying no to Michael Bankston.
Hell
I can guarantee you that.
No way. No way. Banks, take me then to what we just saw for the Cardinals with the rookies in. It's guys running around in short pants and throwing the football around a little bit. Do they really get anything out of that? And if so, what is it?
No, you can get a lot of things out of it, and it's mostly mental, not a lot of physical, as you can see. And most time with the new CBA, it's not going to be that way anyway. Heck, it's not even that way during the season. As you know, it's only 11 padded practice for the year for those guys, an 18-week season. But with all that being said, a lot of times you get a lot of film study, possibly put some of the playbook in. You probably don't want to overload them or overwhelm them, but you can put some of the playbook in for the young guys and just get them abreast and try to get them acclimated to National Football League. So it's a good opportunity. And then with Coach LaFleur, he gets an extra mini camp per se to get guys to come in and get familiar with his system and his new OC and his DC as well. So you can benefit from it. I'll put it that way. And then you also can see what you got and the capabilities just from the eye test and what they're going to be able to do on the field.
One of the things we found out yesterday, Michael, on the show was that Mike LaFleur he didn't really do anything with the playbook during the first mini camp. It was mostly spent on things like cleaning up disciplinary issues, just putting in team rules and how we're going to do certain things. So it's not, especially with the new coaching staff, it isn't that important, at least from that first mini camp, to roll out the playbook. That can wait a little bit, right?
Right. That's why I said you get probably a little of the playbook during that time. And he just want to set a standard. You can lose a lot of these coaches, or as you can see, and you see some of the disciplinary issues they've had over the years, and they lose sight of the team and they lose the perspective, and the team really doesn't know your direction and what you're all about. He's just trying to establish himself and be more organized and hopefully put this team together to put some W's on the board instead of all those L's that we've been taking for the last several years.
Michael Bankston's our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Banks, let me follow up then with Jacoby Brissett. He's going to hold out until he gets a new deal. Look, I know that the team looked better offensively when he took over at the quarterback spot, but he only won one game in all of those contests that he played. How do you feel about him holding out and trying to get starting QB money?
As a former player, I'm gonna put, you get what you can get when you can get it, because the NFL stands for not for long. A lot of times, one injury that could cancel everything. So he's trying to get as much guaranteed money so he could, at least come away with something if something transpired. You hope nothing transpired. As a coach and as a OC that's looking for my main guy to come in, I'm looking at him questioning his want to, because I said last time, even in minicamp, you see all they're doing is throwing the ball around. They're not really doing anything that's physical that's going to warrant any injuries. Because any injury can happen at any time, of course. But he could have showed them that he really wanted to be here, that he's willing to put in the extra time and the effort. Then you just need to sign on the dotted line and write my check and move on from there. So, I mean, it's quid pro quo. It's going back and forth. It's tug of war. That's what kind of we do with negotiations all the time anyway. And hopefully he still gets what he wants out of there. And you're correct. He only won one game, and that was a Monday night game against the Dallas Cowboys. And it was won convincingly. Now, when he was on the field, he did put up some numbers. We were moving the ball. It was getting in the end zone, but we wouldn't get any W's. So how would you equate that as far as money-wise? Yeah, with the league, the salary cap goes up every year. X amount is money there to grab, and there you don't have a prolific quarterback per se. You don't have a franchise quarterback right now, so it's a lot of money up for grabs with the Cardinals organization. I know you had to play Kyler Murray X amount to move on, but it's still some money out there that's on the table. That if you want your quarterback to come in and do his thing, you need to get him in as soon as possible. And we can't go up and hang our hat on another rookie quarterback, Carson Beck, right now. We just can't do it right now. We need to start getting some W's and making some moves where we are more of a NFC West contingent.
Now, you bring that point up about Carson Beck, Michael, and there's an argument in some corners that, listen, you're going to have probably if the team struggles, you're going to have another high pick next year. You got to see what you have in Carson Beck. But yeah, you're right. Any year, the number one goal is to win as many games as you can. It's going to be really tricky for this coaching staff to decide how long do we stay with a Brissett or a Gardner Minshew before we decide we've got to see what we have in Carson Beck so we can evaluate things next year in the draft a little bit better.
Right, and next year's draft is supposed to be more of a quarterback draft, so there should be more opportunities to get some good quarterbacks out there. But with all that being said, you got to play 2026, and you need to put the best chips on the table and move forward. With that being said, if it is Carson Beck, then hopefully, I'll put it this way: hopefully it's somebody. Hopefully it's somebody. I got to be honest. Hopefully it's somebody at the end of the day, even if it's not Brissett. I'm not sure. I can't hang my hat on Minshew. We all know that one. But, I mean, even though he's been in the league for a little bit, but you just can't hang your hat on that one either.
Right.
So, I think they just go in and get a reasonable contract to Jacoby. Let's go ahead and see where they let him fight for the starting quarterback position, which gives you more competition, which helps the guys out that, believe it or not, competition. And see what's going to happen when it's time to hit the first game of the season. Because in the first game of the season, you want to be running on full tilt. You just don't want to come in there limping, especially with 17 games.
Banks, let me end it with this. The Rams are better. The 49ers are going to be better. We know the defending Super Bowl champion, Seattle Seahawks, will probably be better as well. If this team, meaning the Cardinals, if they can win 6-7 games, would that be considered okay? You guys did okay.
No, not really.
Okay.
And the only reason I'm saying it like that is and I know it's a new coach, a rookie coach coming in, and I know this team has a lot of missing pieces that they're trying to develop and get and put together so they can get a better product on the field with those W's. With all that being said, you're in the NFC West, which is becoming one of the toughest division to play in. You got to be able to compete at a high level week in and week out. And they got to bring that understanding. So with all that being said, you got to put all these pieces together. You got to put them together now and not wait until we got to figure some things out at mid-season. We need to do it now.
It's always good, pal, when you take time to come on the show with us. Have a great day, man.
Will do. You take care, guys.
Thanks, Michael.
There you go. Michael Bankston, everybody, former Cardinal. And look, he's opinionated, and we appreciate his thoughts always on this show. It's always a good time. Okay, when we come back, our Learner and Row. One call, that's all, plus what's on tap. We'll get to all of it. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, ESPN 620.
When it's game time in the Valley, you know what time it is. It's Twin Peaks time. Head to Twin Peaks with 5 Valley locations and massive screens everywhere you look. From basketball, baseball, to hockey, fights, and more, there's no better place to catch every play and all the action. Bud Light is a proud partner of sports fans everywhere. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, Arizona State football fans, London is calling. The Sun Devils are headed across the pond to face Kansas in the inaugural Union Jack Classic, September 19th at Wembley Stadium. It's the first college football game ever played there, and you should be part of it. For tickets, hospitality, and travel packages, visit UnionJackClassic.com or contact the Sun Devil ticket office. Join Coach Dillingham, Sparky, and the Sun Devils in London. Forks up. When it comes to your roof, you don't want to mess around. And Arizona homeowners and business owners have known that for over a decade. State 48 Roofing is Arizona's #1 referred roofer. Residential, commercial, they do it all. And they've been doing it right here in the Valley for over 10 years. Protect your home, protect your business. And hey, keep your roof sexy with State 48 Roofing. Visit state48roofing.com. or call 480-268-4509. State 48 Roofing, Arizona's most trusted roof.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Being in an auto accident is traumatic. You need to call the best law firm that has the experience to get you the best results. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Most pedestrian and bicycle crashes happen early morning or at night. The leading cause? Drivers failing to yield. Since 2010, traffic fatalities for people walking and biking have doubled in Arizona. So stay alert and watch for bicycles and pedestrians. There's no such thing as accidents. Learn more about the risks at azdot.gov/no accidents. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Department of Transportation.
Now open in North Scottsdale, it's the Orangedale Lounge. ODs, right off Thompson Peak and Bell, next to Bash's. Your new favorite dive bar has arrived. Cold drafts, chill vibes, always affordable prices, and the OD Mug Club, a one-of-a-kind membership you won't find anywhere else. No frills, just great people, ice-cold drinks, and a bar that feels like it's always been there. Follow at OD Scottsdale and get the scoop at orangedalelounge.com. Orangedale Lounge. Dive in and drink up.
It's the Lerner and Rowe one call, that's all call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
To see that energy in the building, everyone was brought together by a common denominator, and that was women's hoops. So I believe that it's growing. We're at this bridge now of opportunity is meeting excitement and growth, and to be at the forefront of that, not only for things like the Women's Final Four, but to have this new chapter at Arizona State, get off the ground to a good start. Now, I'm never satisfied. I'm pretty competitive. So in my mind, we just set our floor. But all those things combined, it's fun. And you want to be fun for families. You want to be fun for corporations, for donors, for future players, for kids. I mean, for retirement people. You want to be able to bridge this gap of generations and interest, and I think we're doing that. And I know I'm biased, but the women's game is so fun to watch. We are not, having a 3-point contest or a one-on-one contest. There is movement, fluidity, team basketball. The skill level is becoming incredible.
That's Molly Miller, ASU women's basketball coach. 1 year in the books for her, and she made it to the NCAA tournament in the play-in game. Money, you call those games on radio. That had to be a good season for you as well.
It was tremendous fun. And it's, I knew And I you know me, I don't always get things right. But when the job came open, I said, if it's Molly Miller, and I had no idea who they were going to hire, but I said, if it's Molly Miller, she'll be a rock star the second she steps on campus.
Absolutely.
I got that one right.
Yep.
And she backed it up. Again, this is tricky because I have a great relationship with Natasha Adair and everybody on her staff. But I've told Molly at least a dozen times how much I appreciate the fact that she brought the fun back to this program. And it was fun. And not just in terms of the games. We played a bunch of games, Jimmy, that went down to a final possession, went to overtime. So there were a lot of nail biters in there. But we went a lot of different places, too. At December, we lived out of a suitcase in non-conference. Went to Penn State, Oregon State, Gonzaga. That part of it was fun, too. And it was just fun to watch this thing grow. Because she had 9 new faces on that team. And I know a lot in this day and age, a lot of programs are going to go through that. But it was just amazing from the beginning, the buy-in that every one of those new players had to the team concept. So she said it right. She set a floor for what she wants the future of this program to be. And I can't wait for next year. I can't wait to see what the next chapter is because, she said it in our interview today. She went out. She didn't have that many spots to fill this time.
Right. Yep.
And the ones she filled, there were players coming to her saying, we want to be a part of this. So I can't wait for next year.
It's funny how that changes when you win a little bit, isn't it? It really is. Hey, that qualifies for our Lerner and Rowe one call. That's all. Look, if you've been in an accident, don't try to handle it yourself. Just check out Lerner and Rowe. They are Arizona's best personal injury law firm year after year. And if you're in a wreck and you need a check, just make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900 or visit lernerandrowe.com. Once again, Lerner and Rowe, one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. A little bit more on Molly Miller. She had great success at Grand Canyon. But when we did the interview with her today, she brought up a great point. You could win 30 games in a row in the conference that they were playing in, but you were not going to get into the NCAA tournament unless you won the tournament championship.
That's why I'm glad that Grand Canyon got out of the WAC. It's real easy. Now, the Mountain West is going to lose a few schools at the end of this year.
They are to the new Pac-12.
But you're still going to have the Nevada schools, UNLV, Nevada. It's not going to be a complete strip down of the conference. When they were in the WAC, they're playing schools like Seattle, Stephen F. Austin, Chicago State. I think Chicago State left the league. But they were all teams that they could just go out and beat up. And then the whole season, she was right. Men and women, you could win 30 games. If you don't win the conference tournament, you're not going. I don't even think Grand Canyon, there were a couple of years the men's team got beat in the conference tournament, didn't even get a call from the NIT, which is staggering to think. But that's why when they announced that they were going to the Mountain West, I thought, thank goodness, because it's a crime to have a successful program like that and not have them play or at least have a shot. And most years, you and I both notice, the Mountain West can be a multiple bid league.
It has been, yes, many times.
And so even with a few schools leaving, I still like where they're at. I like that they're in the Mountain West. I don't see them moving on to another conference because the hang up, if they were to consider going, like if they had tried to get involved with the new Pac-12, couldn't do it. No football. And I don't think that doesn't bother them all that much. I think they've always modeled themselves after Gonzaga. Gonzaga doesn't have football.
No,
Gonzaga is part of this new Pac-12, but you still have to have a certain amount of schools that play football. I just think they're much better off where they are now.
Let me drop this one on you since you are closely associated with ASU and the men's program, now with Randy Bennett as the brand new head coach. When we had him and we ran some sound bites from his press conference, and he talked about how this was his job. He couldn't wait to get here and all of those things because of his association here in the Valley. But then at the end, he referenced the fact that Gonzaga jumping out of the West Coast Conference, that also played a part in it because he felt at that time that they were not going to get a fair look at playing top teams again. So if he was stayed at St. Mary's, he would not have that opportunity to collect 2 wins against a top 15 program.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's Grand Canyon. You all of a sudden become a league where you have to win your conference tournament. And the West Coast Conference, when Gonzaga was in it, and they will leave at the end of the year, that too is a league that could get multiple teams in.
And they did. It was actually it was Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and Santa Clara got in as well this past year.
Right. And I agree with you. I think it becomes tougher for schools to consider. I'll use Grand Canyon again as an example.
Okay.
The first few years that they went D1, and I know Jerry Colangelo was behind the scenes making a lot of this happen. You saw a lot of really familiar teams on their non-conference schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And then gradually those teams, you didn't see them as much. And I think it had a lot to do with the fact that schools just said, you know what, there's nothing for us to gain RPI wise by playing a team in the WAC. We just don't have any interest in scheduling them. This last year in the Mountain West, the non-conference schedule upgraded a little bit.
Yes.
I'll be curious to see what it's like moving forward. But he's right. I mean, with Gonzaga leaving, that the West Coast Conference definitely becomes a one-bid league.
Mm-hmm.
So not only do you struggle to get national attention from the committee, you have a hard time convincing Power 4 conference programs to put you on the schedule because it doesn't help them at all.
Doesn't help them at all. Hey, what's on tap? It's all brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light, by the way, is the official partner of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B and Yo Money when he sits in on the shows. And you can find it at all 5 Twin Peaks locations. It's Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, and scenic views. This evening, little after 5 o'clock, Diamondbacks at the Rangers. You can listen to it on our sister station, 98.7. Also on TV tonight, MLB 686. If you're on DirecTV, Cox Cable has it on channel 34. There is also NBA playoff action tonight as well. The game is on ESPN. It is the Detroit Pistons hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. That series is deadlocked at 2-2. That is what is on tap tonight. Did you have fun, man, while you were coming in here last few days?
This was great fun.
Yeah? Well, you had to put up with me.
Yeah, but it was still fun.
yeah, but it was still fun, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, Jimmy,
I wasn't looking for that. I kind of thought.
But you walked right into it.
Well, I did. I threw you a softball. You hit it out of the park.
There you go.
That's what we do in this business. Hey, Roc is back tomorrow. We will be hanging out tomorrow. Twin Peaks is where you can find us in Scottsdale.